able to clear it out. 3 seconds to go in this one. Tucker has it into the offensive zone to bring out the Zamboni. First preseason win comes in a 36-save performance by Jordan Binnington and a scoring onslaught by the Blues, who put 7 up on the traveled Ottawa Senators.
Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. 2:02 your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. With Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Our pal Carey Davis is traveling for this weekend's Illinois-Purdue game, so he'll be back with us on Monday. The voice you heard was Chris Kerber, right here on the Blues Radio Network, 101 ESPN, as the Blues thump the Ottawa Senators last night, 7-1. Scoring got started in the first period with a Matthew Joseph goal. Oscar Sundqvist also scored in that same period, as did Robert Thomas. In the second period, Pavel Buchnevich scored. Philip Broberg scored 2 goals in that period. And then Dylan Holloway capped things off with the Blues' 7th goal. You heard Kerber mention in the clip, they were basically led by Jordan Binnington. I mean, they were led. I mean, they scored 7 goals, so I think the Blues just led themselves. But, did the real Blues show up last night against Ottawa? We wanted to see, well, with the wins and losses in the exhibition don't matter. You had mentioned yesterday, hey, there's going to be more of an NHL lineup. It would have been disappointing had the Blues put forth another lackluster effort. And I don't mean effort in not trying hard. I mean performance-wise. Yet, they did the exact opposite. They thumped Ottawa with their regulars. That, I think, is the real Blues. Yeah, what we expect they should be. It was nice to see NHL caliber players basically boot stomping less than over for Ottawa. And, they had their captain, Brady Tkachuk, in the lineup. They had Tim Stützle. They had a couple of other guys. But for the most part, this was an American Hockey League team that the Senators sent here, which is fine. Had the Blues tied or won 2-1, you'd be like, okay, what's going on here? But you didn't. You beat the wheels off these guys. 7-1. Jordan Binnington played fantastic. Philip Broberg just continues to wow me. I mean, we're going to get into Broberg and Holloway later and just the impact that those two have had. And you're already seeing Philip Broberg in his 2nd season for the Blues. I mean, he is shining out there. But it was good to see guys like Broberg at +4 on the night, Snuggerud +4, Thomas +4, like guys putting up good numbers, points, Justin Falk with a couple of points, or at least 1 point. It was the effort you expected to see from a veteran group of players. Well, that was Jamie's thoughts. What did the head coach, Jim Montgomery, say? Here's his overall thoughts in the postgame following the game.
Yes, in a lot of ways, there was a lot of parts of our game, the way we played north, the way we stretched the ice, transitioned offensively. Didn't like our transition defensively as much. We gave too many odd man rushes that thankfully our defensemen handled well, and Binner made a lot of big time saves. Again, we're looking to continue to build towards 60 minutes of good hockey, and I thought that was about 45 minutes of it.
It feels like, guys, that the Blues over the last week now are starting to ramp up, and it feels like they're going to peak right when the regular season starts. You got one more game that's going to come against the Blackhawks over the weekend, one more exhibition game, and then things get real next week. It does feel like a linear or natural progression. And Blues, as you outlined yesterday, Jamie, got some of the young guys that were in camp with them a taste of exhibition hockey at this level. Then those guys started to be reassigned. You started to get the regulars back in line. And then last night I was like, all right, here's our guys. And I highly doubt we see the regulars again, although correct me if I'm wrong, over the weekend, because you don't want to see anybody get banged up. Yeah, you'll see a lot more of the Dvorskys, Stenberg, those guys, Skinner. But it does feel like a linear progression to now we go when we open things up next week. Yeah, you get a better idea. And the thing is there's some positions that I just don't know if you have answers yet. Do tell. Yeah, great. And Monty said it, I think yesterday or the day before. It's like nobody's really pulled away from the pack. Like Matthew Joseph, in my opinion, has solidified himself with a roster spot for the Blues. Where on the roster? I don't know. But to me, he's played good enough, and now he puts a goal in last night. That's kind of like, okay,
You've done everything you can, and you'll be around. Texier at risk. Sonny scores a goal last night. I think he solidifies himself as part of the roster as well. Bukestad a couple of points. Looks like he might start the season on right wing with Braden Shan and Jake Neighbors, which would be great. Luch played okay. Last night. Not a lot for him on the lineup as far as the Ottawa Senators are concerned. Not a lot of guys that are willing to go there with him, but he is driving to the net. He was a big part of the goal for Oskar Sundqvist. The defenseman in front of the net had to turn and make sure he knew where Milan Lucic was before defending and things like that. But I think Luch will be here just based on his experience. And, from there, I'm just wondering, man, like nobody has just jumped up and seized it. Like I think Toropchenko and Walker are on the team too. To me, Alex Texier is one that...
Well, how do you measure that, Jamie? Because
I watch his play.
No. I mean, nobody. Because I think you make an interesting point about people not seizing it, right? Yeah. When you have been a coach, you have been an evaluator, you have played the game at the highest of levels. In fact, you're always evaluating because every time you sit down and watch a game, you're evaluating. So when you're watching, Jamie Rivers, are evaluating these players. I know it's a case-by-case basis. They play different positions, different skill sets. They're asked to do different things. But take any of these players that you just mentioned, for example. What would be the tangible? Okay, now he seized it. Is it goals? Is it assists?
No, it's not that, because you can't put that kind of pressure on a player. Especially if there's a small window of games, you're not evaluating over 20 games. You're evaluating over maybe 2 or 3 preseason games.
Yeah.
So if we just isolate Alex Texier, is a player that every time he has the puck, I want to see him using his speed. He's such a fast skater that he can either close gaps defensively or open gaps offensively, depending on how much he uses his speed. I didn't see that. There's no separation, which tells me that the player maybe not skating as hard as he should be at that point, or doesn't recognize when he should use his speed. At this point in his career, should probably know that.
Yeah.
Also, creating scoring opportunities, creating offense. What does it look like? Does he make good passes? Is he the original passer to somebody who gets a good goal-scoring opportunity? That's important. Being the secondary passer is fine, if you're breaking pucks out and doing little plays and whatnot, but the primary assist player, that's the one you want to see. I want to see that guy driving offense. I want to see shots on goal. I want to see him getting hungry around the net, driving to that blue paint. Just didn't see enough of it. I just see a really talented hockey player that doesn't seem to play really great offensively and doesn't seem to play really great defensively for $2.1 million.
Right.
I mean, hell, I could go do that for $2.1 million.
You'd gladly.
Yeah, I'd gladly do that. Yeah, I'll probably blow both hamstrings first time I hit the ice, but that's fine.
It'd be worth it for that money.
Yeah, it'd be fine. I mean, all jokes aside, those players, and I've seen so many of them over my career, whether it's been as a player, or an evaluator, a coach, or just an analyst overall, and I'm just like, those are the ones you want to grab and be like, dude, you have everything. You've got it all, man.
Yeah.
You just got to have the drive, the motor. The motor has to go here. So if it's Texier, that's what I'm looking for. If it's Milan Lucic, I'm looking for more physicality, man. We didn't bring you here to skate up and down the wing really fast and look scary. It's not what we did. I mean, it helps, but it's not what we did.
Yeah.
You got to get involved, man. You got to be on the forecheck. If you're not the F1 because you can't get there like you used to, you got to be F2 then, sealing off the wall, taking away other opportunities, getting physical on their first outlet passer, getting to the net, disturbing the goaltender, all of these things. That's what I'm looking for in a player like Milan Lucic. A lot of the same for Nathan Walker, but Nathan Walker knows. And he does it, which is why he's got 2 more years after this year as an extension with the Blues, because they're like, we know what we got in him. We got, I think, Toropchenko. I think he gets it, too. Oskar Sundqvist. Sonny, I think, sometimes gets trapped in the I'm a third liner, not a fourth liner mentality sometimes. But overall, he gives you everything he's got every game. He blocks shots, he takes faceoffs, kills penalties, does whatever it takes to win. And we know what he can do come playoff time. So, those are the things I'm looking for when I look for players that I would consider to be bubble players looking to secure a spot.
That's Jamie Rivers. That's Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We will have some 9 Inch Nails tickets to give away. The ticket sales for 9 Inch Nails, they're not until next Wednesday. They don't go on sale. The tickets don't go on sale until next Wednesday, October 8th at noon. But we've got a pair of tickets to give away for you pre-sale. So listen for that. They'll come at some point this hour. Thursday night football. Who saw that coming? With the 49ers banged up as they are, what a shock that the 49ers were able to hang on. They come up with a massive fourth down stop of the Rams, who were driving. I mean, the Rams had multiple opportunities to win that game, yet the 49ers emerged victorious. What does it mean for the Niners, Mac Jones, and the losing side of this, too? The Rams have coughed up two games already in this, and they've just ceded the division to the 49ers, at least in the early going. We'll get into the Thursday night football game next on 101 ESPN.
Was talking with my good friend Gloria Liu not too long ago and just asking her about the market here in St. Louis and, what people should be doing in order to sell their home quicker. And she just said, look, the market is always changing, especially here in the St. Louis area. And people are going to be motivated sellers. There's going to be motivated buyers. The key, though, is to list your home for the proper price. And she believes that to be the number one thing when you're selling your home, because if you list it for an amount that's too high, you sit there forever on the market. You have to lower your price, and it just looks bad overall. And then if you price your home too low, you sell it quickly, but you're leaving money on the table because you probably could have asked for more. That's where Gloria Liu comes in with her team, and they set you up perfectly. And in fact, Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home for the agreed upon price, or she'll buy it herself. And she puts all that in handwriting right before you even get started. So please, there's really no reason not to give Gloria Liu a call. When you do, please tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number is 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or you can visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. And remember that Gloria and the seller must agree upon the sales price and possession date.
out. When did it come out?
All right, that was Al Michaels, at least part of him, from last night's Thursday Night Football game on Amazon Prime.
That was weird.
It was weird.
It's technology for you.
Technology.
I feel like Jamie
and stuff.
right now. Sometimes it doesn't work.
No, this is a Friday.
It always
Why
works
would
for me.
Technology?
Oh, technology.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about something else.
No. We know that.
Yeah.
It's all fine.
If you need help with that, I'll let you.
He doesn't need any help. He's fine. All right. He knows technology. He's young. He's got plenty of technology.
Yeah.
All right. So the 49ers held on to beat the Rams last night. Now, the significance here is that the 49ers had nobody. Nobody's healthy.
Whoa.
Except for one Mac Jones, who wasn't even healthy. He had to go off I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
I thought he was dead the one time. Then they came back from commercial like, you won't believe this. Mac Jones is fine. grabbing the back. Apparently he's just cramping, I guess. But either way, 49ers, what a gritty win that was for them. They had to come up with multiple stops because it wasn't just the stop at the end of the game in overtime when the Rams had, at the very least, a field goal in their back pocket that they could have used to tie the game with 4 minutes left. I don't mind the call from Sean McVay in terms of going for it. Do you want to put the ball maybe in Matthew Stafford's hands? Sure. But ultimately, I had no issue with them going for the win. Plus, I didn't want to see another damn tie.
I was sitting there stewing. I said, if this ends up in a tie again.
Yeah.
Tie game.
A tie game. Yeah, Thai food game. Jamie, when he texted us, I think he spelled it tie.
No, what happens is I do the voice text.
I figured you did.
Because I'm like, this damn phone, it spells stuff wrong all the time.
Technology.
Mm-hmm.
Like my kids will be like, oh, I'll send back just like Marshy. Tie. At least know how to spell your son's name. Because I'll be like Braden, and it'll go Brayden rather than DON. I'm like, voice texting, you fools.
And they know. They know Dad's voice texting. Anyways, the 49ers also came up with a huge stop where Kyron Williams fumbled the ball going into the end zone, or was like at the 1 yard line.
But I got
There's
a question
couple
about
of big
that.
moments.
I got a question. I was wanting to ask you and Carey, but Carey obviously out today. Mm-hmm. So on that one where he fumbles it at the goal line, the defensive player makes a great play. He does the whole punch thing, right?
Yeah.
But his punch when he comes down punches them right in the side of the head first, like right in the face mask, jars them, and then it keeps going and hits the ball. Like, can you punch somebody in the face and then grab a fumble?
Typically not.
Go back and watch. I'm telling you, there is an overhand right.
I don't know if it's reviewable.
Could have stunned the Rams player, like bam, and then the ball comes loose.
Also, hang on to the ball though.
It's always important to hang on to the balls, but if you get punched in the face first, Anthony,
Sometimes it could be tough.
it could be tough.
Yeah. If the ref doesn't see it, not reviewable.
I saw it.
I think he needs to, and I know he's not in school anymore, but I think it'd be beneficial if he walked around some type of campus holding on to the football.
It's been
and
done.
making
Just
sure
make
that
him
no one
Everyday life.
gets it.
We'll go to the grocery store, whatever.
Yeah, no, good call, actually.
If anybody in Los Angeles brings this ball back to the coach instead of you, you're out of here.
Exactly.
Well, that would imply that people in Los Angeles actually care about football.
Somebody from San Francisco lives in L.A.
Gotcha. Well, there's a
Or
lot. There
any
must be a
other
lot
team.
of people that live in L.A. that are San Francisco 49er fans.
What I
because
read.
that was a home game for them last night.
Ouch, yeah. Well, they saw their 49ers, what's left of them, beat the Rams. Now, did the Rams give away that game in large part? Yeah, they did. They had the two key turnovers. Kyron Williams had the one late in the game, again, where he was going in the end zone. Blake Corum, the backup running back, had a key fumble early on where the Rams were trying to get back into the game. But look, you gave up 400 in total yards to an offense that while they did have Christian McCaffrey, sure, Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne, that was it. That's who beat you last night. 407 yards. And the time of possession was just over 40 minutes for the 49ers and just over 26 minutes for the Rams. So, yes, the turnovers were key, but Kyle Shanahan, you cannot tell me coaching doesn't matter, and Kyle Shanahan specifically did not impact that game. He knows the Rams well, And even though he's depleted, he's still able to put together a game plan that beats a division rival that had every opportunity to win that thing. That was highly impressive. And Mac Jones looks like a functioning quarterback with the right coach. Who knew? Who would have thought?
Almost everybody. When you look at the success of the quarterbacks under Kyle Shanahan, I mean, we're going to get into it later. We're specifically going to talk about Mac Jones, but that game last night, and I sit here today just kind of kicking myself because I was 49ers in the Pick'em Challenge, and then I flipped it like sometime between the Scott Air Force Base and home.
Kickoff.
Yeah. And I was like, oh. But who would have thought that?
That's a horrible spot for the Niners. You not only are you depleted, you're short rest, and I know the Rams are too, but short rest and a little bit of a travel. It's not that far from Santa Clara to Los Angeles, obviously, but still, you come off the loss last Sunday. You don't know who's going to be available really until Wednesday, and as soon as Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings, they can't go. Kittle was already out and has been out. Brandon Ayuk has not come back yet. Nick Bosa obviously lost 2 weeks ago. Short week, divisional game on the road. Good luck. And they were able to pull it off. So Kyle Shanahan does a masterful job again with a Niners team that has not been healthy all year. They're 3-0 on the road this year. 3-0. Now, on the other side, conversely, the Rams fall to 3-2. They've choked away 2 games. You had every opportunity to beat the Eagles in Philadelphia 2 weeks ago and did not. And last night, you cannot fall behind 14-0. And you can't continue to have special teams issues again. You're getting field goals and extra points blocked. You're giving up big returns. I mean, the special teams for the Rams has been a disaster, to say the least. So good win for the 49ers, and congratulations to Tanisha from the Snake Pit, as the 49ers now have sole possession of the NFC West.
So do you guys,
depending on what Seattle does this weekend.
Do you think the 49ers are like a legit team?
Well, let's do this.
NFL?
Can I play a game just for a second here? One, that's a really good question, Marshy, because it's really kind of like, what?
Right.
Are they? But when will they start to get some bodies back? Like, I know Bosa's gone for the year. Mm-hmm. Purdy will be back at some point, but Mac Jones is filling in more than adequately there. Where are some of the other guys coming back?
Brandon Ayuk should be back in a couple of weeks, and the Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall injuries aren't long-term. And Kittle should be back at some point, too.
So then you got the Buccaneers is the next game for them in Tampa. That's going to be a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
That will be a tough one. Then they got the Falcons. No offense, Anthony. I don't know how tough that game is. We'll see.
Well, it depends on what Falcon team shows up.
Yeah, exactly. Texans, Giants, Rams again, Cardinals. Panthers, Browns, Titans. They don't have a terribly difficult schedule because they have a fourth-place team schedule this year. So what I guess my point is what are they? I think we don't know yet. I think it's this big lump of clay that nobody's really molded yet because they don't really know what direction to go with it.
Here's how I would answer that, Marsh, and I agree with Jamie. I think it's an interesting question. Here's how I'd answer it. If I were to put the 49ers, if we were to do our rankings,
right?
In fact, I had them, I think, about 10th before we went the Spite angle. I think they're a top 10 team, but right at 10.
Right.
If I'm ranking them. I don't even know if they beat Seattle in week 1, but I don't even know if I got them ahead of Seattle in their current state. Mm-hmm. So if I'm ranking, 49ers are probably 10, 12, right? In that range. However, you have to say they're a legit team. All they do is keep winning.
Right.
Despite the injuries. They are well coached. They obviously believe, they've got Kyle Shanahan. The players want to play for him. Mm-hmm. They have elite coaching on both sides of the ball. Robert Saleh coming back. I mean, this is why they begged Saleh to come back. He was going to take a year off after the Jets fired him. They begged him to come back to San Francisco to coordinate their defense. And thus far, they held the Rams. They held the Seahawks to 13 points. New Orleans, who isn't very good, but they held them to 21. The Cardinals to 15. Did give up 26 last week to Jacksonville, and then 23 last night for the Rams. I mean, they've done a pretty good job, despite, again, losing their top player defensively, Nick Bosa.
Yeah, I just wonder what that looks like playoff-wise, if they end up finding themselves in the playoffs.
That's tough.
Because of the season that they would have, because of the teams that they would play, but also knowing that if they're healthy and they have Brock Purdy, obviously they have one of the best running backs in the world in Christian McCaffrey. If George Kittle comes back, like what does that look like at the at the end of the season? Is that a team that you want to play? I don't know. They could be a dark horse.
Obviously, there's a lot.
They could win the division and be a dark horse. That's how weird it is for the 49ers.
Yeah, because nobody's going to buy into them. I think that's your point, right?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's going to buy into them.
What was the spread last night?
7.
For what? Rams?
The Rams.
Rams were favored by 7.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the odds makers start to go leaning the other way.
To give you an idea what happened, so the Rams initially were 3.5-point favorites. That's it. Then when all the injuries started to come out, it bumped up to 7.
But
now part of that is people hammering the Rams.
Now watching these games, I wonder if the odds makers are like, because that's kind of the odds makers' worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Is you have a team that's not, like you look on paper and you're like, but then they go out and they play well. Or Mac Jones has found his new Obi-Wan Kenobi in Kyle Shanahan.
You never know. But there's a long way to go here. I highly doubt I'm going to have them in front of the Eagles, the Lions, the Bucks, and maybe the Seahawks, and maybe the Packers, depending on what version of the Packers we see throughout the course of the year. But they could be like the fifth best team in their conference, but you got to respect them because they're going to be well coached and the game plan is going to be great. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's give away some 9 Inch Nails tickets. 101 ESPN, hey, that's us, has your chance to win free tickets to see 9 Inch Nails February 25th at Enterprise Center. Tickets for 9 Inch Nails go on sale this Wednesday, October 8th at noon, but we've already got your chance to win free tickets for the show before you can even buy them. Here's your trivia question today. You guys want to go easy or a little challenging?
Oh, it's Friday. People have had a long week.
Want to go easy?
Yeah.
All right, here's your easy one. What was the title of 9 Inch Nails' debut album, which was released in 1989? What was the title of 9 Inch Nails' debut album released in 1989? Text in now to 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. If you have the correct answer and you're the 101st texter into the Air Comfort Service text line, you'll get those tickets. And you can find all the ticket details and a bonus shot to score free tickets for 9 Inch Nails right now at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN mobile app, which is powered by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The divisional series in both leagues in baseball, they're set. How do we feel about the matchups? We'll dive into some of the storylines next on 101 ESPN. I was just down at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum taking my wife's Pathfinder in for service. The service department, man, it's quick. It's funny. I was watching some of the people that are, kind of hanging around, and they would sit down, and the next thing you know, they were being called back already to come get their car, and everything was good. And I heard it. If I heard it once, I heard it a handful of times. Wow, is that... we're ready? That's how they treat you at Auto Centers Nissan. Whether you're getting service or you're buying that first new vehicle for yourself or somebody else in the family, Auto Centers Nissan, they hook you up, they treat you right. And this month, they got their Scary Good Deals event, which is happening out in Herculaneum, just minutes from South County. Right now, you could drive home a brand new 2025 Nissan Rogue, Pathfinder, or Murano with no money down, 0% APR for 60 months, and no payments for 3 months. So we're not talking about driving around looking for the best deals. They've got them at Auto Centers Nissan. Here's the best part. They've got over 1,000 new and used vehicles all in one spot. So you don't have to run around different locations of the same dealership, which is highly annoying. They don't have any gimmicks, just the biggest selection in St. Louis. Plus, all new Nissans are backed by a complimentary lifetime warranty and a 30-day return promise within 30 days. If you're not completely satisfied, bring the vehicle back and they'll refund you. If you're already own a Nissan, even if you didn't buy it from Auto Centers, you can bring it in for service, and your first oil change is 100% free. So head out to Auto Centers Nissan or check them out online at autocentersnissan.com. Tell them Stalter sent you.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Your St. Louis Blues took down the Ottawa Senators last night by a final score of 7-1. They will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. Of course, you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. You'll also be able to listen to some college football. Tonight, we have BYU and West Virginia. Pregame starts at 9 o'clock. Kickoff is at 9:30. And then before the Blues and Blackhawks take the ice, we'll have Michigan and Wisconsin. Pregame starts at 10:30 a.m. with the kickoff at 11. Last night, we had the wild card series. They all wrapped up in Major League Baseball, and the divisional round is set. We'll talk about that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
With Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Last night, the Padres fell to the Cubs 3-1 in a decisive wild card series game. Ninth inning was the turning point, boys. So here's the situation: Xander Bogaerts was called out on a strike 3 on a low pitch by home umpire
That was
DJ Rayburn.
unbelievable. Wow.
Yikes!
That was bad.
Bogaerts slammed his bat, argued pretty heatedly. Is that a word? Heatedly? Heatedly?
Sure.
Let's roll with it. Manager Mike Schilt came to his defense, and then after the game, the umpiring crew exited via the Padres dugout. Video showed Rayburn saying something, sparking a confrontation with Bogaerts and close friend Jose Iglesias. Coaches, umpires restrained the players. No punches were thrown, but obviously tension's pretty high. Padres felt the strike call messed up the whole game. I don't know if they can claim that, considering that, they didn't hit much the entire series or that game.
It did shift things in the ninth inning, though. Because,
Ninth inning, sure.
you get Bogaerts on. I don't think Keller could find the strike zone unless he really, really needed to.
Unless Rayburn helped him out.
Well, that too. But, he was wild, man. He was plunking dudes. He was throwing balls, past the catcher, Carson Kelly. I thought that was going to be a classic Cubs fumble right there. The Cubs are back to being cursed again. They can't win because this guy can't find the strike zone.
Yeah.
And then the umpire bailed him out.
Well, next year you'll have the ABS challenge system, so at least that's good.
Yeah.
That comes out of it. So the introduction of the ABS challenge system for balls and strikes. Each team will get 2 challenges per game, can keep challenging if successful. In the Padres situation, certainly a textbook example. If Major League Baseball wanted something to say, hey, guess what? Got a new feature coming out. So that won't happen again.
Yeah, that is going to be the poster child for it. That's what it is.
All right, boys. So the ALDS and the NLDS set in both leagues now. The Yankees, by the way, got past Boston. So the Yankees will take on the Blue Jays. The Cubs, by virtue of their victory yesterday, will set up an NL Central matchup between the Cubs and the Brewers. Let's go back, though. Dodgers and Phillies.
Can I just say something real quick? Yes, Dodgers and Phillies, but when I look at the NL bracket in particular, the Dodgers-Phillies is really the NLCS, in my opinion.
So you give 0 hope to Cubs-Brewers.
I do.
Really?
I do.
Just because the Phillies and Dodgers are stacked.
They're stacked, and here they are playing each other in the NLDS. It's kind of like the NHL when they run into that second-round series in the playoffs, and you've got 2 teams that should be Stanley Cup contenders playing in the second round.
Sure.
I don't know. I just look at the Cubs and the Brewers, and I just don't think either of those teams can hold water to the Phillies or the Dodgers. And I could very well be wrong.
No, I think that's a fair statement because Milwaukee, we've been here before with Milwaukee where they've had a great regular season. Maybe not this level of great, but they've had a great regular season only to go into the playoffs and their offense disappears. Their pitching isn't quite good enough and they get bounced in the first round. So I think that's fair.
Yeah, anyways.
I think it is interesting to think about because you do find yourself with these two teams playing each other, but that wouldn't be the case though if Milwaukee hadn't wrapped up the number 1 seed.
I agree with
best
that.
team in baseball.
Oh, they earned it.
They absolutely did.
But so, Marshy, let me just redirect this back at you. You're not wrong, first of all. Second of all, Winnipeg Jets going into the playoffs.
I was just about to bring that up. I'm glad you said something.
Did we think they were the best team?
No, I did not. So to your point, I was just going to bring up Milwaukee reminds me a lot of the Winnipeg Jets. They really do. I think the Cubs are a better team than Milwaukee.
I think we can see an upset. I really do.
You think the Cubs?
I think
the Cubs beat the Brewers.
How do you guys feel about that?
I want Anthony's Cubs in the NLCS.
Mike, I hate the Cubs.
Oh, you were talking about yesterday how much you like him because you're from Chicago.
I literally
told Carey to wear that blue and red shirt.
You did.
I literally said I hate the Cubs repeatedly.
I didn't hear that.
I said some nasty things about their ballpark and their urinals. Okay?
You did.
You did, but you never said you hated them.
I literally said I hated the Cubs.
I didn't hear that part.
Whatever.
He hates Wrigley Field.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
what I
Cubs.
heard.
Because there's not enough playoff games being played there.
You know what? Go Brewers in this series. And if they play the Dodgers, because I hate the Dodgers.
Yeah. How about we just root for the Phillies?
Yeah, good idea.
We'll have the Phillies go to the World Series.
Okay, so let's dive back here again. Dodgers, and Phillies. Elite lineups, very strong rotations. Even without Zach Wheeler, the Phillies have a strong rotation. The difference going into the series, I think, comes down to the bullpens. The Phillies have Durant, Dodgers lack that lockdown option. Not to say that they can't get by, but I don't think they're going to be able to outslug their opponent like they did with Cincinnati. I don't think they're going to outrun their problems with their offense because they're going to face better pitching.
But the Phillies are still they're in tough with that rotation. Like they've got a couple of guys, but Zach Wheeler not being a part of that is going to be
it hurts.
It's going to really sting.
But I do think the edge goes to the Phillies slightly because of the bullpen. Because they do have star power too. Maybe not to the Dodgers extent, but they're loaded.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget this is not a 7-game series; it's a 5-game series.
It's just a sprint. Marsh. It's just a sprint. But I like the Phillies over the Dodgers, mostly because I hate the Dodgers, but I also like the Phillies in this situation.
So it's all about that.
I'm going to go for the Phillies because
you hate the Dodgers.
I hate the Dodgers.
There you go.
Yeah. What about you?
I want the Phillies because I'm just tired of. I know the Phillies' payroll is through the roof, but the Dodgers won it last year, and I'd like to see Phillies bounce them.
Okay.
I mean, you know me. I picked the Phillies at the beginning of the season. I picked them before the playoffs started. Have to roll with the Phillies. Although I think it's going to be a tough series.
Oh gosh.
It's going to be a great
5
series.
games.
It should. All right, Brewers, Cubs.
I got the Cubs.
Yeah, I think the Cubs are going to win.
Really?
Yeah.
I like.
So it's a sweep. We all get the Cubs.
No, I got the Brewers. I think this is. I think this is an evenly matched series with contrasting styles. I think the Cubs, they got the power bats. Their strength is defensively up the middle. I think the Brewers, speed, contact, fundamentally sound baseball. Like as much as if you just took the Brewers out of the NL Central and they weren't one of the Cardinals' rivals, I think Cardinals fans want the Cardinals to play similarly to the Brewers in the way, again, they high contact, a lot of speed, fundamentally sound. Despite the struggles in October, and that's 5 straight postseason losses for the Brewers, I got Milwaukee this time. All right, Tigers and Mariners.
I'm pulling for the Tigers, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think the Mariners are just too deep.
I'd like to see the Mariners win this because I believe the last time they were in the playoffs, they didn't even score a run.
Is that bad?
That's not good. It's not good. And then before that, you had to go back to what, 2001?
Yeah, when they had their historic season.
Right. So these fans have been itching for playoff baseball, for longer than like a few games. So I'm going with the Mariners. I think this is the best team that they've had in quite some time.
I agree.
and it's a
easily.
fun team. It's a fun team to watch.
It is. I love their pitching. You got Gilbert, you got Kirby, you got Castillo, you got Wu. You've got a team that, the Tigers come in, and they're heavily reliant on Skubal, who's incredible.
Yeah.
But the Mariners can match that. So it's going to be interesting. But the Mariners have the superior pitching depth, bullpen, lineup. I think the Tigers' offense can struggle in this series.
Well, they've proven
were
they
great
can struggle overall recently.
over a whole
Yeah.
month, in fact. Yeah. But I think the Mariners are relentless. I think they're very balanced. Give me the Mariners. Yankees and Mama Rivers Blue Jays.
This will be the best series.
This is the one you're looking forward to.
In terms of, I think, going back to, who was it, George Springer, who was complaining in the regular season.
Why don't you just give them the win?
Right. I think there's a lot here with this series, and they're going to start in Toronto. It's going to be fun.
I'll tell you what, playoff baseball in Toronto is nuts. It is nuts. Like, that building will be rocking, and it's a massive building. It will be sold out to the roof. It's exciting
They
stuff.
got great fans.
They have great fans, passionate fans. And it's always, I can tell you this for a fact, once the Expos left Canada, anytime the Blue Jays are in the playoffs, it's Canada against the United States. Like, that's the way the Toronto Blue Jays fans kind of take it.
Yeah.
Which why wouldn't you?
It would be fun to see Toronto's baseball team and basketball team win their respective championships before the Maple Leafs do.
Oh, dang.
I think that would be
the
fun.
Raptors last won in, what was that?
2019.
2019. The Blue Jays, it's been since 93.
So I guess they have won before.
And the Leafs
Before
is
the Leafs.
1967.
Wow.
So
Joe Carter.
Yeah. Wow, what a great. That was a fun night in good old Sudbury, Ontario. But I got the Blue Jays in this one.
Marsh, it sounds like you're taking the Blue Jays, too.
I like watching different teams make it. In baseball, it seems like anything can really happen. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays. Blue Jays Mariners, which is a weird LCS, but kind of reminds me of the Tigers and Oakland A's back in 2006.
All right, well, I'll go for Papa Stalter's Yankees then.
But you don't believe it. I see it in your face. I've known you a long time. You're not believing it.
I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, but you're not believing it.
They have Judge.
Anthony,
Stanton.
You're not answering the question.
And when he plays, Jazz Chisholm.
Do you guys think about World Series matchups? Like, okay, if the Yankees were to be in the World Series, I would rather have them play this team. I wouldn't want to see Yankees Brewers. I would rather see like Yankees Phillies, Yankees Dodgers again, Yankees Cubs. Not that I want the Cubs in there, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if the Blue Jays are in there, I wouldn't want to see Blue Jays Brewers. I would want to see like Blue Jays Phillies. That's a rematch.
Would you want to see the Brewers at all then?
No.
Okay. So we just
I think the
eliminate
Brewers
them.
are the one team you don't like.
You don't want them
at
in.
all. Just from a baseball, like,
It's so funny. I agree, but it's so funny that we often have conversations about wanting to watch the Cardinals play fundamental baseball, and this is the most fundamentally sound based team in baseball.
I will say,
And we're like, we don't want you. Give us the dingers.
there is one matchup that
Show us your dingers.
yeah.
Speaking of Dingler, on the Detroit Tigers, there's one matchup. If it was the Tigers and Brewers, I would be okay with that based on geography.
Okay.
That's it.
I love the way your mind works.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
But
I get
that's
it,
like a
because
rivalry, though.
You'd have fan bases traveling.
Well, absolutely. The Detroit Milwaukee, the Detroit Green Bay Packers, and Detroit Lions. That's a heated
It's
rivalry
close
now in the
enough in
NFL.
proximity to where people could travel back.
Absolutely.
I get it. I would have never thought of that.
But that's the only
Detroit,
scenario.
Chicago, too, would be able to do the same thing.
Yep.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
That's also a good one.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. That's Andrew Marsh, and he's got what's trending for us next.
Well, we're just sitting there talking about World Series baseball. Well, you know what? I'm going to open up my Circa Sports Illinois app. I'm going to hit the futures bet on this one. I do love Mama Rivers Blue Jays, so we're going to go and put a little bit of cheddar, as they say, on the Blue Jays as my futures bet for the World Series. Circa Sports has a lot of exciting things coming up here. They're going to be legal in the state of Missouri in December, so keep your eyes open for that. Could be a lot of exciting features added to Circa Sports overall. Let's not forget that they do have tight money line splits and the best odds of any app that is out there currently. Download them all. We take a look at them on a daily basis, and I can tell you for a fact that Circa Sports has the best odds of any app, which for me equals bigger payouts. They also have high betting limits, and it's just a lot of fun, too. So get to the website or the App Store, search for Circa Sports Illinois. It is right there. Just click on it. Easy to download, very user-friendly. They've also got, the parlays and the player props available. All of those things are super, super fun to play on a daily basis. So, again, download, bet like a pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app, and don't miss out on any of the excitement over there at Circa Sports. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers. I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for What's Trending. Guys, you ready to fire up the text line?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The Texas Rangers are focusing their manager search.
Did you add the echo there for effect?
Yeah.
Attaboy.
On one, Skip Schumacher.
Really?
Really?
So we could have potentially Albert Pujols in Anaheim, LA, California of the United States.
Yeah.
And Skip Schumacher in Texas.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, the Albert one surprises me more just because the Angels are going to be terrible. And I don't think it's a great spot for him to cut his chops, so to say, as a full-time Major League Baseball manager. I think Skip he's had the job before. He was a bench coach. He was manager with the Marlins. He had a good year, had a bad year. He had a terrible team. His roster wasn't really his fault, all that stuff. The Rangers are in a pretty good spot. It's a pretty good spot to land. They're kind of like the mid-range with upside.
Yeah.
So
Team willing to spend, too.
yeah, team willing to spend. It was interesting. I was listening to Matt Holliday this morning on with TMA, and they talked about Albert and whatnot. Matt Holliday's first thing he said, paraphrasing here a little bit, is managing in majors is no joke. Like, it's a lot. Mm-hmm. He's like, there is a lot. It's every single day. So Matt Holliday, who, was going to be the bench coach for Ollie, and, he's helped at Oklahoma State and all that stuff. Even he's like reluctant. He's like, yeah. So we'll see. Everybody wants Albert. Everybody wants Yachty, Like, okay, let's just see how that works out. Not that they're not good baseball people. I think that's where people get confused when I say these things.
Yeah.
Yachty's a god. I understand that.
Yeah, we agree.
Yes. The answer's always yes. Forever.
Yeah. You're right, Jamie. Because you don't get to pick and choose the parts of the job you like. It's not like Yachty and Albert, and I'm not saying they would do this, but it's not like a Yachty and Albert would step in and say, all right, great, I'll manage, but I'm only going to manage the games.
Yeah. That's it. You want me doing that practice stuff? Nowhere in my contract does it say.
You got to be down in spring training.
Yeah.
You've got to run through all the monotonous stuff that you probably didn't love when you were a player. You have to be on top of all that. Oh, by the way, you also have to not only manage the team, but you have to manage your coaching staff. Who do you want to be your bench coach? Who do you want to be your pitching coach? Who do you want to be your hitting coach?
Well, and one thing you can't forget is, so once the infielders leave the field to go hit the showers, do their whatever it is, you're not going anywhere, coach.
You got to speak to the media.
No, you've got the outfielders now.
Oh,
going out there.
Yeah.
Then you got the pitchers you got to revisit. Then you got the catchers meeting. Then you've got your staff meeting to go over the daily happenings. Mm-hmm. Then you've got the media you've got to deal with.
Right.
Then you got to stop for a second, grab a bite to eat, and then you got to get ready for the game, because the game preparation comes in the late afternoon / early evening. Mm-hmm. And then you got to talk to media again, because you get right before the game.
Right.
He might love that, though. The guy loves baseball.
He might love it.
And I know that he loves St. Louis more than L.A.
Yes.
Despite what Carey says. He had his biggest moments here in St. Louis. We'll just chalk it up to that.
But what Jamie's saying is, if you're not 100% all in on all concepts of the job, he won't be a good fit.
You got to love to be a manager.
And you're not the star anymore. So you're not the star player anymore. Like, that's the thing. Like, the player tag is gone. Mm-hmm. You're just a manager. You're just a coach at this point. Now, for the first year or so, for half a year, former or Hall of Famer Albert Pujols.
Yep.
But that wears off. If the team is 10 games below 500 halfway through the season, it don't matter how good Albert was.
Right. Well, and maybe you run into the situation, and we've talked about this, with players not being able to play the game and see the game at the same level as superstars did that become a manager or head coach. You brought it up multiple, the Wayne Gretzky thing.
Yep.
I also wonder if there are going to be some players that are almost like intimidated by Albert and his presence, and they don't want to screw up because, oh my gosh, I can't screw up. My manager's Albert Pujols. What is he going to think of me?
You could
I'm
have
not saying
situations,
that's the case, but maybe it could be.
You could have situations where guys are trying to do too much.
Right.
But here's what I'll say is, if the players are smart, they pick Albert's brain, especially if you're a hitter. I would be like trying to just be a sponge. The problem that lies ahead in that is there's only one Albert Pujols. And no matter what he tells you that worked for him, you may not be able to ever do it like Albert or even come close.
Right.
And that's where the coach's frustration sets in. And I tell that story all the time, but Wayne Gretzky bring me in his office and ask me why can't he see that guy on the power play? One, he doesn't have eyes in the back of his head, Wayne. Two, his last name is, we'll just keep it blurred out for now, not Gretzky.
Right. Yeah. All right. Speaking of hockey, we have. You know that, right? You know that?
He was surprised. What do you mean? I'm like, wait, there's one of one that makes that play, and you're sitting here with me.
You're not suiting up anymore.
No.
Jeremy Rutherford.
But I had my guy, right?
Jeremy Rutherford's going to.
That was good, though, right, Coach?
JR is going to join us next. Talk a little Blues hockey following last night's 7-1 win over whatever team Ottawa put on the ice.
The Senators. They wore the jerseys.
They wore the jerseys.
They represented the brand. That's all that matters.
That's right. JR next on 101 ESPN.
for the Rutherford Report with our Blues insider, Jeremy Rutherford, on 101 ESPN.
JR is brought to you by Evergreen Wealth Strategies, helping everyday people every day. Visit evergreen-ws.com.
304, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Every Friday during the NHL season, we chat with our guy Jeremy Rutherford. At JP Rutherford is where you can follow him on X. He does a tremendous job covering the Blues for The Athletic, and JR now joins us via the Collier and Thompson phone line. JR, how are you?
Doing well. I don't have to answer the question today. What's wrong with the Blues? They finally got a preseason win.
You're big. I know the Senators didn't necessarily have their best lineup out there, but it was still great to see the Blues go out there and do exactly what they should do and win 7-1. What was your big takeaway last night?
Yeah, I think it's Jordan Binnington. I think that he's a veteran, obviously, in this league now, and he knows how to prepare himself. He doesn't need to worry about preseason games in terms of how many is he playing and what does everybody think of his play. He just gets ready for the season, and he's just been dynamic in the times he's been in the net and the exhibition. He's ready for the year, and this being an Olympic year, he wants to win that job as Team Canada's goalie, and obviously wants to take the Blues as far as he can go, maybe another Stanley Cup. So I think he's at the top of the list last night of guys who look like they're ready to go.
Yeah, let's stay with Jordan Binnington just for a second, JR. You're always down there talking to the guys. I'm sure you've asked a few players or even coaches, what are they seeing from Binnington from a preparation standpoint or just on-ice execution that, not that is different than other years, but just that is very noticeable so far this year?
Yeah, Jim Montgomery was asked about that last night, and his comment was he thinks this is the best training camp that he's seen with Jordan Binnington. He didn't go into a ton of details, but just talked about that focus, and I think that's a product of a couple things that we just talked about, but also that's just who Jordan Binnington is. I honestly, I try not to be a homer in this job, and I just don't think he gets enough credit for the goalie that he is, the preparation that he puts in. And, yeah, the numbers aren't always there. We watched a few years ago the Blues defense was much maligned and a lot of backdoor tap-ins that he had to put up with. And so when the team is good in front of him, I think he can certainly raise the level of the team. And as Monty said yesterday, Riv, he said if people don't know about this guy after the Stanley Cup and after the Four Nations face-off last year, what else does he have to show?
Yeah, I agree, obviously. And just like you, I'm not necessarily a homer, but when someone from the home team plays really well, I like to talk about it.
Right.
As far as Jordan Binnington, another part of his game, and Joel Hofer for that matter, but it's just been really noticeable in preseason is his puck handling ability. Have you talked to any of the players about, how that simplifies their game or just, how they feel about it overall?
Not this season in particular, this preseason, but definitely over the past couple of years. And it's not just the Blues players who say that it helps them out so much, and how Hofer, same thing. This is going to be a trait, a characteristic the Blues are going to have in net if and when Joel Hofer takes over for Jordan Binnington. And, but even listening to opposing coaches talk about how Binnington took our forecheck away, I think it's huge. Not only does it get the puck out of the zone quicker, and like I said, you eliminate that forecheck from the opponent, but that also limits the hits that your defensemen are taking when Jordan Binnington can play the puck the way that he does. So we saw it again last night, but it's nothing new. We've definitely been seeing that for several years with Binnington.
Jeremy Rutherford joins us right now on the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. JR, the two players that a lot of people are excited to see for round two here with the Blues is Broberg and Holloway. Is the ceiling even higher going into this year than we thought following last season? So not going into last season, right? Because obviously we didn't really know what we had. But now that we have watched Broberg, we've watched Holloway, do we think the ceiling is even higher this season based on not only their talent, but the fact that they're going to be even better, we think?
Yeah, I was chuckling because this is another one where I prefaced it by saying I don't want to be a homer with this answer. I really don't. But just watching these two guys that you're talking about, Holloway and Broberg, in the early going, I really do think the ceiling should be higher for both of them. Holloway's coming off that very serious injury with the torn oblique. He's been healthy for a number of months. and he looks like the best player on the ice. He just does. And, some of the plays he's made, you start to remember, gosh, Dylan Holloway did this last year. Can he even be better this year? And I think the answer is yes. And, they got Suter in the middle on that line now. The lines look good. It hasn't skipped a beat with what they did with Shen in the middle last year. And the key thing with Holloway, Anthony, Jim Montgomery said it the other day, is just his work ethic is contagious. He really does believe that it's rubbing off on several Blues players. And then with Broberg, he had 2 goals last night, 27 seconds apart. He's got 3 in the preseason. Granted, one of them was a shot from the top of the faceoff circle, but all 3 of his goals have come within, 20, 30 feet of the net, a couple even closer. And I asked Jim Montgomery, I said, hey, are we going to see a Philip Broberg who's going to even be more confident in his offense and the ability to drive the net and make plays close in? And he says, yes, I think so. So I think these 2 guys are guys who had to deal with the headlines last year, had to prove to St. Louis they were worth the risk, whatever you want to call it, of the offer sheet, and wanted to prove to Edmonton that they missed out on a couple of good players. And I think with all that behind them now, that's what we're seeing in the early going.
JR, how good is it to look at the roster now and see Cam Fowler extended? Some people were worried about the term and the money and all that, but as this contract ages, I think it's going to be just fine, especially if percentage of the cap that he will eat up will get smaller and smaller. But with the Fowler extension, Parayko's under contract, and now Philip Broberg looking like he might be able to leapfrog even people on his own team and become a number 1-2 defenseman.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself, Riv, because I didn't put Fowler in that 2028-29 projected lineup with the 3-year deal that he's got with the Blues. I just felt like, okay, maybe they'll give him 2 years. He's got the year on the current deal, 3 years, but he's going to be here 4 more years. And I understand people somewhat critical of the defensive contracts over the past few years and say, hey, don't make Cam Fowler another one of those. I just feel like Cam Fowler is a better player, and he's used in different areas, not only the top pair, but the power play. And if he's in your third pair in 3 or 4 years, you're making $6.1 million. That's not going to be a bad thing. So, yes, he can skate. A couple of those guys, like a Nick Leddy, could skate, but I think there's more to Cam Fowler's game. I think it sets up perfectly for the Blues because they have some good young defensemen, like a Lucas Fisher, like a Lindstein, like a Juracek on the other side, on the right side. Those guys are coming up, but they're not just ready yet. And if the Blues are going to stick to what they said they're going to do, and that's be competitive, you had to have Cam Fowler on this roster. If it wasn't going to be him, it was going to be somebody else, and that guy is going to cost you $6 or $7 million too. So I think it's a perfect fit.
JR, one preseason game left, and we've been talking about it quite a bit, is the competition for, we'll call it the bottom 6 spots, even though we know it's much fewer than that, and Monty even narrowing it down to the bottom 4, even 2 for the roster. I'm going to play a little game here. I'm going to ask you, if you are player X or player X, Y, and Z, who do you think is marching into Monty's office today, making sure they play tomorrow night because they still have work to do?
Well, the top 3 players in that category have to be Texier. Like he has to go in there and say, you got to let me play. And then he's got to show something that he hasn't shown in camp, and particularly lately. Like, I really do think that, do they like him? Do they like the skill? A year left on the contract, $2.1 million. Is he a guy you'd like to have around? Yeah, if he's contributing. But you look at it now, and, Joseph, I think, was a little more noticeable last night. He's had some games where I think that he's stuck out, but he's had some games where he hasn't. Jim Montgomery was honest the other day when he said nobody's really grabbed it. So, I think the defense is set, the goaltending set, and I think obviously the top 6 is set, the third line to a degree, but kind of that right wing third line and then that fourth line, there's a couple guys who could benefit from playing tomorrow and having a good game, and Texier would be at the top of my list if he's trying to prove himself.
Last thing for Jeremy Rutherford here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jared, I know you just finished a story that's going to publish tomorrow about NHL players being able to wear whatever they want to the NHL rink. So this could be kind of funny, and maybe it adds some personality to the game like we see sometimes in other sports.
Yeah, obviously Riv can elaborate on this, but for years there's been a dress code. It's a suit and tie, and that's what players wear to the rink home and away. And it's changing in the new collective bargaining agreement. Now, this won't go into effect, the new CBA won't go into effect until 2026, but they're allowing some things to start this year, and it's the relaxed dress code. So there are some guidelines, like you're not going to walk in your Ozzy Osbourne T-shirt, but, these guys are able to kind of show some style. And will we see NFL, NBA type stuff? That's what I interviewed some of the Blues players about. That'll be in the piece tomorrow, but, just interested to hear Riv, what he thinks about these guys just coming in the threads they want to wear.
Yeah, I don't know yet, JR. Honestly, I'm a little bit on the fence. Like, I totally believe gone are the days that the players have to walk in shirt and tie. Like, Anthony, when we used to go on the road, anytime you left the hotel, you had to be shirt, tie, suit. Like, no relaxation at all. Now, the league has gone to where players wear just a collared shirt and a suit, no tie that's mandatory. I don't know how I feel about it. I do like the look of guys, looking like professionals when they walk in there. Could it be where, you've got T-shirts under blazers and things like that? I think that's a look that you can kind of pull off. I know that the Red Wings and certain teams have gone in the past years to some tracksuits on the road, meaning like on the plane, at the hotel, you can wear a tracksuit, but then you're wearing your suit to the game, which I didn't hate that idea. I thought it makes it a lot easier for the players. I guess it's going to be a situation, JR, where it's going to be fine until it's not fine. And what I mean by that is somebody walks in looking like a complete buffoon, and then all of a sudden the team is going to have to try and implement some kind of dress code, and then the CBA will be referenced in the dress code. Like, I'm wondering if there'll still be some kind of rules, even though it's supposed to not be regulated.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some guidelines, and I did ask Jim Montgomery, obviously played in the league, including, 67 games with the Blues, and asked him for his opinion on it, and he said, I like the suit, and I hope the players see this interview. I hope they see my response. So I think if you want some playing time, you want to get on the power play, you might be wearing a suit to the game if you listen to Jim Montgomery's interview. And we did ask the question, we asked all the Blues players, who will be the most stylish? We got our pick for that. You'll find out.
Oh, the cliffhanger.
And we also asked who will be the most casual, and I don't want to give away that answer necessarily, but let's just say that somebody said Justin Falk will probably show up in some hunting gear.
Oh,
Makes sense.
He'll have an orange hunting hat on with some camo. He loves them. He loves himself some outdoors, JR.
Yeah, so a fun piece, and you can read more about that tomorrow.
We're looking forward to it, JR. Hey, have a great weekend. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you again next Friday.
You guys too. Thanks a lot.
All right, that is Jeremy Rutherford here in the Fast Line on 101 ESPN.
I did talk to Robert Bortuzzo the other night at the game because Nick Bjugstad was not playing. And he walked over to talk to Robert Bortuzzo, and he was in a pair of, like, nice, stylish jeans and a nice shirt, But Bobo looked at me and goes, oh, man, I'm not ready for this. He's like, I think the suits are good, guys, like, because you kind of feel like, you feel good. You're walking in, you're looking like you got some class. He goes, we'll see how this works out.
Could be a good thing.
I don't know. Like I said, I think it'll be good until it isn't.
Right. It'll be fine.
Somebody will push the limits, and it'll end up being like, yep.
This guy ruined it for everyone. Back to the suits.
Good thing I'm not in the league anymore.
Yeah, it'd be you. That's for sure. Air Comfort Service tax line is 314-399-9646. We got part one of the Sports Six Pack, so send in your questions there. Again, part one, Sixer, next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you've got a question for us, send it in. Marsh, what do you got for question one?
Question number one.
All right, Anthony. Everybody's wondering, especially the 636, could this weekend's matchup against Akron be a trap game for the Chips?
You know, I have thought about that. It is a slight concern for the Chips that, you know, they're coming off the big Eastern Michigan get-right game, and then they got to go back on the road to play an Akron team that's not very good. But look, you can't minimize any opportunity to get better, and I think the Chips will fire up when it's all said and done. I think they'll be fine. By the way, Jamie, I think you asked me at one point if Central Michigan had ever been ranked, and I said no. It's not true. 2009.
Wow.
They finished number 23 in the nation.
What? How bad was college football?
I don't appreciate that at
That's
all.
just a question, of course.
Number 23 in the nation is as early as 2009.
Did you used to go to Fire Up Chips games?
Oh, yeah, I did. Absolutely.
Anthony.
I did, I swear.
How many?
I went to every home game.
Every home game.
Yeah, a little tailgate. It was fun. A little tailgate.
Were you covering the team?
No, I was not.
Anthony.
I did.
Okay.
I promise you.
Like, looking back now, do you wish that
I actually
in
saw some good
college
games.
that you would have covered the football team or other teams at the university?
No, not for football, because I enjoyed just going to the games and tailgating and having fun. If I had to cover the team, I
had that concern too. Like when I was at North Dakota, a part of the athletic department, there were games, like big games, whether it was a hockey game or a football game, that in my mind I was like, man, it's really cool to be a part of this. And, you know, because you get to, go down on the field or ice level and take videos and do all that fun stuff. But, man, I was like, I wish I was a fan right now just for this specific game so I could, be with my buddies and whatnot. So, but that's the, when you get in this business, though, that's kind of the trade-off.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that is the tough part. No, I saw some good guys. I saw Byron Leftwich play for Marshall. I saw Big
Was that
Ben.
when he was on one leg?
Yes. Yeah, not that
carried him
game.
down the field?
Not that game, but yeah, it was that
season?
That was the season.
When did
I saw Big Ben. I saw Michael Turner.
Marshall.
Falk? He went to San Diego State.
Isn't that where what's his name went to?
Randy Moss.
Yeah, Randy Moss.
Oh, Randy Moss.
I was drawing a blank there.
Yeah, that was in the 90s. But yeah. Yep, so I wasn't there
I know
yet.
you weren't there.
But yeah, he did play there.
Come on.
Okay, all right.
Not that.
Okay.
Concussed.
Ish. Question 2, please.
Question number 2.
From a 314. I like this question. This is a good question. Guys, how far off do you think the Blues opening day atmosphere is from the Cardinals, and what can they do to close the gap?
Well, it's tough because the Blues don't have the Clydesdales, right? Like baseball, the stadium, it's beautiful weather outside. Usually, hopefully, it's not raining. But if it's not raining, the temperatures are usually a little bit lower. You've got the Clydesdales, you've got the Red Jackets, you've got all that stuff that you can do. You're limited with a hockey rink. You just are. And you have a rally. Like the Blues try to have a rally somewhere down there. Usually it's at Union Station. They try to, because that's the biggest area, which is why I think they still need to buy up a couple of those old, decrepit buildings down there and knock them to the ground and make a whole area. Like the Blues, own little.
Like a Blues ballpark village?
Yes, something like that. Like an Enterprise Village, you could call it, or whatever, or Blues Village, call it that. And then you could have a little stage set up there. You could march the Blue Jackets onto the stage and people could be
the Columbus Blue Jackets?
No, you don't want that.
Marshy, come on. Marshy.
Be for real,
The Blues
Marsh.
Hall of Famers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then, we already know that Barrett Jackman's going to be one of them for this class going in. But I think there's ways you can do it. But unfortunately, you'll never be able to have the wide open canvas that is Busch Stadium, where the whole stadium's in there.
Right.
Imagine trying to march guys out on, you could have a carpet and have all your Blues Hall of Famers come out. The one year as the alumni, they had all of us alumni come up and line up down the boards, and It was cool, but like it wasn't like, oh my God, that's awesome.
Right. It's not the same.
It's just not the same. So I don't know what they could do. I know that year after year after year, the staff down there keeps trying to make every game memorable, and especially the home opener. They put in a lot of work, man. They really do. And even though sometimes you're like, oh, they just had a few things. There's a lot of work that goes into those videos that they have, like before the game.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a whole crew. There's like weeks of preparation.
Blue Note Productions.
Yeah, Trevor Nickerson and his group, they do a fantastic job of trying to create something new, something cool every year. And that takes a lot of time, man.
They try and make those Friday games feel different than the Sunday games.
That's important, I hear. Wow. When anybody is talking about the success that they have as a team, I want them to really specify why a Friday and Sunday need to have different atmospheres.
Yeah. You got to make sure you know the difference.
Absolutely.
Question number 3.
From the 217, does last night's 49ers game prove that the Niners should never pay a big contract to a quarterback? Always spend the money on other star players because nearly any quarterback can run that system.
Oh, that's a bold statement there.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. I don't think you're wrong.
I do.
The problem that you run into, though, is developing that chemistry. And how many quarterbacks just want to go there to be ushered out as soon as they want to make money? You're kind of setting a weird precedent. You know what I mean?
Becoming the Tampa Bay Rays of the NFL.
We want you until you want money. If you want money, get the hell out of here.
No, I think the key is you got to find...
And that's at the quarterback position. That's tough.
You got to find a quarterback that is not going to cost you a whole lot of money initially. So, like the Brock Purdy. I mean, that's just... I didn't want to use Brock Purdy because it's like... It was the ultimate find for them that he's ended up being so good for being, Mr. Irrelevant or whatever you want to call him. Like that's an anomaly. You don't usually get that. But you do, I think that when you have somebody like Kyle Shanahan and the offense that they have 49ers, I think you can start looking around for manageable salaries for quarterbacks of players that you look at and go, I can work with that. Now you'll have a window of 2 to 3 years probably to go looking for championships because just like Brock Purdy did, being as consistent as he was, he eventually was going to get paid. Now he's not getting the Dak Prescott, he's not getting that kind of money of some of the top guys, but he still is, at some point you got to pay him or you got to get rid of him. And so the 49ers had to pay him, and they've had that championship window with Purdy. They've gotten right to the brink of it before they had to pay him.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's all a cycle, right? Like once you do find that quarterback, if he's not being paid a ton of money, you have those superstars. But once then you have to pay the guy, go find those guys in the draft and recycle. It's almost like a cycle. By the time that the superstars are paid, they're out the door. Now you're bringing in young dudes who can fill that role at a high level. And by the time they're ready to get paid, maybe your quarterback is on year 8. You're ready to get rid of him, get a younger quarterback. And it's all a cycle. Same with other premium positions. But we talked about the Green Bay Packers. What they've been doing for years now has ultimately worked for them. But that's another team that doesn't really have star players.
Not typically.
Like at all. Outside of, I would consider Josh Jacobs to be a star running back. He's one of the best running backs in the league, in my opinion. Maybe we don't talk about him enough.
Micah Parsons on
the defensive side. But other than that, they just have really solid players. But no superstar players that are asking for superstar type of money.
They typically don't go in free agency. Like Reggie White was one of their biggest free agent signs ever. But typically they don't go out and spend big time money. That's just their model. They draft, develop, and they've done quite well with that. They've also pulled the trigger on the QB 1 or 2 years before they needed to, and that has worked out significantly well, which is the first point you made.
And they've only won, one Super Bowl in the 21st century?
Yep.
They won one in the 90s. So it's not like they're pumping out Super Bowls, but they're competitive every single year for the most part.
They could be in the NFC Championship game in nearly every year.
They could be,
It's hard to win the Super Bowl. It's hard to win the NFC Championship.
They could have been in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago when Jordan Love went to San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
There was a chance that team, they were right in there till the end of the game.
They got hot at the end of the year.
Now, I don't know if they beat the Lions that following week, but
I think that would have been tough. But who knows?
Who knows? Who really knows?
We'll continue with our Sports Six-Pack. 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. Keep those questions rolling in. Part 2 of the Sixer next.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues pick up a preseason victory last night over the Ottawa Senators, 7-1. The final score. We talked with Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic, earlier today. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and all of our shows there. That's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Blues back in action tomorrow, taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Pre-game for that one starts at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6. Of course, you can listen to that right here on 101 ESPN. Part 2 of our Sports Six Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Part 2 of the Sixer is next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Carey Davis will be back with us on Monday. He's traveling for the Purdue-Illinois game this weekend. It's time for the second part of the Sports Six-Pack. Question 4 via the Air Comfort Service text line. Marshy.
Question number 4.
All right, we get a question from the 910. The UFL folded 3 teams today. And by the way, those teams are Memphis, Michigan, and San Antonio. The question is, will they survive more than this next season?
I don't know. I hate to say it, but I don't think so.
I will die on this hill.
You have before.
I have. Not on the hill.
Not on a hill.
No.
I don't think. The hospital, I don't know where it was located.
It might have been
I can't
on a hill.
remember. It might have been on the hill. That Dwayne Johnson has got to somehow get into a boardroom with the NFL owners and find out how his league can help benefit the NFL. Not even come there with a pitch, a sales pitch of any kind. Nothing. And that's the best way to get things done in business when you're the smaller guy in the transaction, is ask the bigger entity how you can make their product even better. And the NFL then will say, well, nothing. We're not interested. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then you tried, right? But they might fire out a whole bunch of ideas, and then you actually get a gauge of the entire room then. If you've got 5 or 6 or 7 owners that are talking about this, that, the other, how they could help you, okay. Mm-hmm. There's enough interest here that the next time we meet, I'm going to come with a proposal on how we can make the NFL better. And then that's when you go back to the workshop with all of your minions and you figure out how you become a minor league system for the NFL. And it's obviously there's not enough teams to match the amount of NFL teams. But even if you could have one team that handles 3 different NFL teams where you can send certain players that you have an excess of. Because wouldn't the Cleveland Browns like to have Shedeur Sanders taking pro snaps somewhere right now?
No, absolutely.
Like instead of just sitting rotting, and I just bring him up as like, but it could be linebackers, it could be running back, it could be a receiver that has tons of speed, but he's not really great at routes. Where to send him down is going to work on his routes.
When would they play?
I don't know.
That's the question. Like Fridays? I know that's high school football. Thursdays NFL.
The only day of the week that isn't football related for now is Tuesdays.
Well, but to get the MAC.
But then the MAC comes up.
It's later, though.
What about Wednesday? But by that time, if you're playing a football game Wednesday and then the team needs you to play on Sunday.
Too bad, so sad. I'll tell you what, Marshy, I played 4 games in, let's see, we played Wednesday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, and I played Monday night in the NHL. Mm-hmm. Too bad, so sad.
Oh, I understand. Like if you have an opportunity, it doesn't matter what your body is feeling. if you have a chance to play in the National Football League, you go and play.
But my point in this is not so much that capability, because you have your practice roster, right? So you'll be able to pull from your practice roster. My thought is young players with tremendous potential that you can send them down to, harness what they do currently very well. But like if it's a quarterback that has tremendous foot speed, but throwing arm isn't all that accurate right now, you go down and you work on some accuracy stuff. Or if he's not a good pocket passer, we send him down to somebody who's really good at developing the pocket passer. And then the next year at camp, you give him a good look. So there's got to be some way to partner up. If there's none, then the UFL, unfortunately, is going away.
I wonder if this is your idea clearly benefits the UFL more than the NFL. I don't think the NFL really needs the UFL.
No, but I get Jamie's point in that if you wanted to survive, you have to provide some value to the NFL.
Absolutely.
You need the NFL. You need the NFL's backing, their dollars, and you need to create some sort of value. It's not unlike what, if I talk to young high schoolers that they want to get into the media world, or even some college kids whether I'm talking to a high school or I'm talking to parents that are like, hey, what's your best advice? The number one advice I always give them is figure out what your boss doesn't want to do and do it.
Yeah.
Figure out there's something within it.
Figure out what people above you don't want to do
and do it. And say, hey, I'll do that. It's the same concept, right? Go to the NFL, say, this is the value we provide. Well, we don't need that. Okay, no problem. What do you need? And the NFL has borrowed a lot of the camera angles and some and the kickoff rule. So you may provide some value to the NFL. I don't know if it keeps the league afloat, but
who knows, right?
But to Jamie's main point, it's desperation time. If you're getting rid of teams now, I mean that's.
Again, I'll go back.
Tough.
I'll default to my initial comment, which is find out if there's anything you can do to make the NFL more money and better. And if the room is saying things, you go do that. And if you can't, or they're like, really, you're no use to us, then you're done. I'm sorry.
And that would mean that you would have to give up a percentage of this league to the NFL, and then they would own it. Do you think The Rock would be willing to give up his percentage?
Do you think The Rock would rather go down with a sinking ship right to the bottom of the ocean?
No, I don't think so.
But that's what I'm saying. So
where they're at.
Sometimes you're in a position of here's 25% of the league, here's 50% of the league.
We want 90% of the league.
Good. Then guess what's going to happen? They're going to pour resources into it then, because then now it's on the NFL not to fail.
Very true.
Question number 5
from a 618. I believe Jamie has said he was an offensive defenseman coming into the NHL, but that changed when getting here. How do you think your play would have fit into today's game if you were breaking into the league today?
Without sounding weird about it, if I was breaking into the NHL today, I would have a much different career than what I ended up having. I played a lot more like a Drew Doughty-ish, but a little more offense. So would hit guys, do all that stuff, block shots, but ran a power play, scored goals, skated well, moved the puck well, always up the ice. So it would have been a lot like, I don't want to say something like Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar. Like those guys are so good, but along those lines of being able to do all of that. So my career would be financially would have been a lot different than it ended up. Although, Anthony, I probably wouldn't be sitting here with you right now.
And what a miss.
Marshy. And that would make me sad.
Yeah.
That would make me sad.
Absolutely.
$40 million probably take care of that.
You hear that, Anthony? We're not worth $40 million.
I don't blame Jamie on that one. Not going to fight you on that one.
Like 25 maybe, 40 no.
Nah.
We'll take the 25.
Yeah, probably.
Question number 6.
All right, another hockey question here from the 636. Could we see holdouts in hockey after a Kirill contract and caps going up? Like if Robert Thomas is making $8 million and has 100 points in a season, could players sit out for bigger contracts? We see that in the NFL.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Won't happen in hockey.
No. The last guy I think that held out while still under contract, oddly enough, was Keith Tkachuk. like way back when with like the Phoenix Coyotes and the Winnipeg Jets. I think he did it twice for that matter. But no, I mean, your contract is your contract. The owners, what they'll say is, so if Robert Thomas puts up 120 points, he's like, I am worth more than $8 million. I know I have 5 years left on my deal. I'm not playing unless you give me 12. Well, I guess you're not playing, and we're going to fine you every single day you're not here. And that $8 million, we won't get all of it, but neither will you. And you don't have to pay him either. So you can fine him and not pay him.
What would that look like in terms of LTIR? Could you put, I know you said this hasn't happened in a long time, but if that were to happen, could you put a player on LTIR if he refuses to play? Like, how would that go up against your cap?
Well, it hasn't happened since the cap era, so I don't know what the rule would be. But if you suspend it without pay, I don't think it would hit the cap.
Okay.
Because I think the league would want to support the team more than the player at that point for being unruly, we'll call it. As far as LTIR, like, you'd have to have an injury history there.
Right.
Otherwise, you just slap any player on the LTIR and be like any bad contract. You just be, yeah, he's hurt.
Well, if it was like a Micah Parsons situation, or not Micah, but maybe some other players who Terry McLaurin, a hold in, right? Oh, I'm hurt. Are you holding out for a contract?
Are you hurt or you're injured?
So there is a scenario where the player's quote unquote hurt. Would LTIR make sense?
Yeah, but
for
that was a player that had 1 year left on his deal.
Right.
But Robert Thomas in this situation that you're speaking of would have like 4 years left on his deal.
Right.
So, okay, you're hurt. Great. Well,
I'm just thinking for that season.
You're hurt. Great. We're going to talk to the doctors. We're going to get you evaluated, and we're going to send you to the top clinic in the country. We're going to get you evaluated for that shoulder. No, I feel fine now. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
It's a miracle.
Praise the hockey gods. All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Mac Jones got it done last night.
Return of the Mac.
Is he now the answer for San Francisco? Probably not, but he might be the answer beyond San Francisco. That's next on 101 ESPN. One of the best things about Underdog is that you play right here in our state of Missouri, and you get paid for your football hunches. Playing on Underdog, super easy. Just choose whether or not a player is going to go higher or lower on their stats. And what stats that you choose, well, again, it's completely up to you. Receiving yards, rushing yards, touchdowns, even fantasy points are available at Underdog. And if you get your entries right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Here's one of the best parts. You can play for as little as $1 at Underdog. Here's a couple of plays that I like this weekend. How about Baker Mayfield to go higher than 18.5 rushing yards against Seattle? Baker's been running around a lot. A lot of times he'll take off if he can't find anybody open. Mike Evans is hurt again. Now Bucky Irving is hurt. A lot more on Baker's shoulder pads this weekend in Seattle, so I like him to go higher than 18.5 rushing yards. I also like Cam Scatterbo, the rookie, that I like him higher than 64.5 rushing yards in New Orleans. As we know, the Saints defensively, they're not a good team overall, but again, I'm thinking about the impact that Scatterbo could have. He's going to have a big game with Malik Neighbors out. And then I like Jake Ferguson to go higher than 5.5 receptions with CeeDee Lamb out for Dallas. You get the theme here. Jake Ferguson should see a lot of action in the passing game. Download the app today. Sign up with my promo code Anthony to score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. It's promo code Anthony, my first name, at Underdog, where you can make plays and win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.nsbgambling.org.
Mac Jones was in San Francisco, he would be playing like Brock Purdy.
I actually agree.
Oh, God, no.
Yes, dude.
No, there's no chance. He'd be better than he is. But if you think he's going to play like Brock Purdy, you haven't paid attention to Brock Purdy. That is a slap in his face.
No, it's not.
He's not just a system quarterback.
Did we pay
that guy's
attention?
playing like Joe Montana, not Joe Montana, like this guy's playing.
So that was the crew on Get Up. That was from October 9th, 2023?
2023.
Mac Jones. So that was Dan Orlovsky, and maybe Dan Orlovsky's got a little bit of redemption here, as Mac Jones has played very well under Kyle Shanahan. As the story goes, Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. It was John Lynch, the general manager, who believed that with Kyle Shanahan's coaching, that Trey Lance, who the 49ers eventually traded up for and selected, Trey Lance would elevate the offense. Lo and behold, they took Brock Purdy with the last pick in the draft. He became Mr. Irrelevant. And if you go back and look at some of the comments that Kyle Shanahan made about Brock Purdy in that training camp, you could tell that it fit his offense. Brock Purdy fit his offense more. Mac Jones, several years later, winds up in San Francisco and has played well under Kyle Shanahan. This reminds me a lot of Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh used to be able to see the exact quarterback that he wanted that fit his system. I don't know if Joe Montana fits every single system, but he fit that one incredibly well. The footwork was something that Bill Walsh was always high on, footwork and accuracy. If you can throw your wide receivers open, a lot of the yards after catch depended on the quarterback and where he put the ball. That was all Bill Walsh. And he noticed certain QBs had certain traits that he loved. Steve Young, same deal. Mm-hmm. Steve Young was toiling away in Tampa, and Bill Walsh apparently went into his room of scouts and coaches and says, who thinks I should trade for Steve Young right now? And nobody said a word. Nobody put their hand up, and he stormed out and made the deal for Steve Young. He knew
that was
what
an
he
Anthony
wanted.
Stalter move.
Yeah. I'll show you.
Yeah, he's like, okay.
The move wouldn't work for me, but it certainly worked out for Bill Walsh, who's a genius. It's similar to Kyle Shanahan. He sees what he wants in a quarterback. He knew Mac Jones fit his system well, and, well, looks good for him and Dan Orlovsky now.
Is Mac Jones the next Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold? Like, pick your retread quarterback that has gone through an excellent coach. The Sean McVays, the Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell. Like, is he the next one? Because watching him play, and I mean, it really shouldn't be happening. He has no pieces to play with except for McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. Yet he threw 342 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kendrick Bourne, 142 yards, catching. Jake Tongas. Is that his name? Tongas
for the tight end?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to
41 yards, 7 catches. I mean, he worked the ball around the field. He was throwing off the back shoulder to throw receivers open against coverage. Like, I'm just wondering. Like, his future obviously is probably not in San Francisco because Brock Purdy is in the way. But by doing what Mac Jones did, going to San Francisco, listening to whatever they're talking about, getting into games right now, playing as well as he's played, that everybody's talking about him, he'll have a starting job somewhere next year. And then it'll be up to him to do the Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield thing, like, I can do this.
Right. I think the next move is crucial, though, because what did Sam Darnold do when he left San Francisco?
He went to Minnesota.
Kevin O'Connell.
But look at Baker. Baker went from Sean McVay to Tampa.
But they hired, I'm glad you brought that up. They hired Dave Canales, who was under Sean McVay.
Okay.
So Dave Canales was the OC. When he became the head coach in Carolina, what'd they do? They went back to the same tree, brought in Liam Cohen. So that what you just said, Jamie, I think is pivotal. If Mac Jones were to go to, and sorry, Marsh, I'm not saying anything about J.J. McCarthy here, but if Mac Jones went to Minnesota under Kevin O'Connell, who once was under Kyle Shanahan, at least the offense, the terminology, it all makes sense. If Mac Jones just goes anywhere, then I think you probably see the New England version of Mac Jones. in my opinion.
I agree. Man, he would probably really play well in Minnesota. Would you care, Marshy?
I just want to win.
Okay.
Maybe Mac Jones becomes competition for J.J. McCarthy next year.
Maybe.
And you could choose, right?
Or J.J. comes back, has a solid second half.
And he's great. You don't have to worry about it.
He's great.
Sure.
He's only played 2 games. Let's give him some time.
No, you're right.
I'm just saying. We're just saying, okay? Something to think about.
Just trying to help your team, too, Marshy.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So I don't think he's going to be fit everywhere. Like the Jets. Like, I don't know if he'd be a fit with the Jets.
No, because he
even
just
though they
came
need a
from
QB.
that. He came from that with New England.
Like that,
So-
it is going to be crucial.
I'm trying
see
to
who
think
he
of
goes
another
with.
team that might be a good fit that definitely needs a quarterback. You know, like
He could also sit right there in San Francisco and say, "Hey, I'll be the backup."
He's played so well now that there's someone will call. I don't think he signed more than a 1-year deal with the 49ers.
Right.
So the phone's going to start ringing. And you just wonder, like, okay, where does he fit in? Like the Raiders? Geno Smith can't be the ultimate answer there.
No,
Leads the league in interceptions.
Not great.
we knew that from the Gauntlet.
Packers, they have their guy. Bears have their guy. A lot of teams have their guys right now, which is tough.
So if somebody, we know that there's going to be firings in the NFL. If somebody were to be fired and a new coach comes in and you're considering Mac Jones, you may want to consider Clay Kubiak for offensive coordinator. That's another move. So it doesn't have to be the head coach, but Clay Kubiak is the offensive coordinator for the 49ers. It's Kyle Shanahan's offense, but Kubiak's been there for 5 seasons now. Maybe he's somebody that is ready for play calling duties. You can make him the OC and then pair him with Mac Jones.
Yeah.
That would be something I would consider if I would be a head coach.
Well, is there anything wrong with being a full-time backup? Because there have been quarterbacks that have made careers out of being the backup, and they have been called upon. And I think there's a lot of value in that.
Yeah, but the player's not going to strive for that.
No, absolutely not.
Like, unless the 49ers reward Mac Jones with starter-type money, low-end starter-type money, if I'm him, I'm telling my agent, I've just proved to the whole world that I can play in this league. And I didn't have Kittle. I didn't have Brendan Ayuk. I didn't, like...
Yeah. Yep.
But I wonder if some teams look at that and they're like, yeah, but do we have that type of coaching staff, if we're being honest?
Well, maybe.
Are we willing to bring in somebody from, like what you just said, Kubiak? We willing to bring that in?
Depends on what the situation is.
Look,
A lot of
it's
season
early,
left.
and Mac Jones could implode.
Oh,
Who knows?
absolutely.
But he also could remain pretty damn good, and then teams around the league then are saying, is this the Mayfield? Is this the Darnold effect here?
It's going to be something to watch in the offseason if Mac Jones continues to play well. The Gauntlet is next in the Fast Lane.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. It is 4:05, your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. No Carey Davis. Carey's traveling this weekend for the Illinois-Purdue game. He'll be back with us on Monday. We welcome in Michael to the Gauntlet. What's up, Michael?
Oh, doing great. Just real happy. Just got back from vacation.
Nice.
Went to this really cool place called Wachita.
I hear it's beautiful this time of year.
Sorry, dude. I had to do that.
No, I hear you. It's all
That's
good.
okay. Anthony loves it.
I do. I love it. I hate this mother. Michael, would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, Jamie, or me today?
Well, we're going to do Jamie because he's my favorite blues announcer, so we'll do Jamie today.
All right, there we go.
Mike.
Jamie's going to head into the cone of silence.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, Michael, go ahead and tell Andrew Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin it, Marshy.
All right, Michael, what are you hoping for?
Baseball, football, or hockey, I can't stand random. I sure wish you guys would get rid of it.
You and me both, brother. That's where I think Wichita came from.
Yeah.
Is it random?
It's absolutely random.
Oh, the wheel just.
Oh, well, that's what it is.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry, Mike. All right.
That's okay.
Well, you're going to get 4 random questions. Each one is worth 2 points, unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. Name the alternative single that, in 2017, became the longest-running #1 on Billboard's Hot Rock Songs list.
2017. I'm Here Without You by 3 Doors Down. Final answer.
Question number 2. Whose 95 thesis sparked the Protestant Reformation?
Let's go with Martin Luther. Final answer.
Okay. Mike, question 3. Tell us the state that boasts the largest population of nesting loggerhead and green sea turtles in the United States.
Let's go with Florida. Final answer.
Question number 4. According to the National Museum of Play, fingerlings were among the best-selling Christmas toys in the year of...
I'm going to need the options on that one.
Options are 2015, 2018, or 2021.
Well, you know what they always say, if you don't know, just pick the one in the middle. So we'll go with 2018, final answer.
All right, let's bring back Jamie from the Cone of Silence. Michael, how you feeling?
I'm pretty good. You know, who knows? I mean, random it's just a turkey shoot.
It is. It really is. All right, Jamie's walking in here, a little bit of a strut now. Jamie, how was the Cone of Silence? Did I see somebody pop in there for you?
No, it was already in there. It was Bradford Bruns in there whittling away and doing some things. And
okay.
Yeah.
All right, Bradford, way to go, kid.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie, your category today is random.
Oh, baby, let's go.
All right, here we go.
Pack a lunch.
I'm sure.
Question number 1. Name the alternative single that, in 2017, became the longest-running #1 on Billboard's Hot Rock Songs list.
Options, please.
Heathens, Ophelia, or Dark Necessities?
I feel like it's Heathens. All my friends are heathens. Heathens. Final answer.
Question number 2. Whose 95 thesis sparked the Protestant Reformation?
Oh, man, you know what? I was talking to a buddy of mine at the gym this morning about this, and we had opposite sides of the debate, of course. But just for time purposes, I don't want to bore you guys. I'm going to get the options.
Is it Johann Gutenberg? I believe I'm saying that correctly.
Steve, Dad.
Desmond David Hume?
Hume?
I think it's Hume. I believe it's pronounced Hume.
Is it Hume?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Martin Luther.
Just Martin Luther? Okay. What's the question again?
Whose 95 thesis sparked the Protestant Reformation?
And we got Hume at 2, Luther at 3. Who's at 1?
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg, yeah. Let's go with Gutenberg, Steve's dad. Final answer.
All right. Tell us the state that boasts the largest population of nesting loggerhead and green sea turtles in the United States.
God. What?
Yeah, you heard me.
Sea turtles. That'd be somewhere along the water, I would imagine.
Those turtles are not sick.
No. Give me the option.
All right. Florida, Alabama, Mississippi.
Okay, so Florida is like the obvious answer. However, I feel like it's not. I feel it's going to be like somewhere in the Gulf area. Alabama, you got Gulf Shores down there. Mississippi, I did not know that Mississippi bordered water like that. So it makes me feel like probably Mississippi, but I want to say Alabama. What do you think, Anthony?
Oh, I'll ask the questions around here.
Mississippi, final answer.
Question number 4. According to the National Museum of Play, fingerlings were among the best-selling Christmas toys in the year of...
What? Fingerlings in the year of options?
Options are 2015, 2018, or 2021.
Fingerlings. 2021, final answer. I have no idea. The hell are fingerlings? The finger puppets?
Not allowed to ask questions around here. Let's go over these.
You tell me that.
Name the alternative single that in 2017 became the longest running #1 on Billboard's Hot Rock Songs list. Mike, Shot in the Dark, said, Here Without You, 3 Doors Down.
Here without you, baby.
Very popular song.
It's a great song, though. I got to give Mike that.
Not an option. Jamie took Heathens by 21 Pilots. Correct answer is?
It is Heathens.
It is Heathens. So Jamie on the board, 1-0. Whose 95 thesis sparked the Protestant Reformation? Jamie, after hearing the options, went with Johann Gutenberg.
Yeah, YG.
Mike went with Martin Luther. Correct answer is?
It is Martin Luther.
Mike didn't need the options on that one. He's got a 2-1 lead.
Shut up.
He's got a 2-1 lead. Tell us the state that boasts the largest population of nesting loggerhead and green sea turtles in the United States. Jamie went with Mississippi. Mike went with Florida. Correct answer is?
It's Florida.
Mike didn't need the options.
The hell is this guy, Rain Man?
Yes. According to the National Museum of Play, fingerlings were among the best-selling Christmas toys in the year of... Jamie went with 2021. Mike went with 2018.
Oh, without the options again?
No, he took the options.
Okay.
Correct answer is...
Of course, it's 2018.
Mike.
You have
chosen wisely.
Mike wanted nothing to do with random, by the way. He goes any other category but random. The wheel said, I got something for you. Spun random. And Mike then, in favor, said, go fast lane yourself. 5-1 win today over Jamie.
I mean, Mike,
Jamie,
pretty impressive, brother.
Man. Dude, you're my favorite booze nuts, right? I hate to do that to you, bro.
No. You got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to mow down the ones you love the most. And, good luck the rest of the way, buddy.
Cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward to Monday.
There you go. You can celebrate. You can celebrate all weekend,
Mike.
Nice job.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll see you.
Hey, by the way, real quick, guys, I just want to let you know how great of a job you guys do. You're my favorite show. I've listened to sports radio for about, 40 years. Just can't even think about a better one than you guys.
Oh, dude, Mike, thank you, man.
That's
thank
awesome,
you.
man. Thank you very
much. We can hear how genuine you are, too, man. We appreciate
Please
you.
leave that voicemail for our boss. It'd be great.
Or leave an email. We've gotten bad emails before.
Yeah, did I tell you about the one email that I got?
Yeah. Maybe.
And since Carey's not there, M-I-Z.
Z-O-U. See you, Mike. Nice job, man.
Go Blues, guys. Go Blues.
Yes.
See you, buddy.
Excellent.
I'm almost glad I lost to Mike.
Mike's a
nice guy.
Super nice guy. Oh, no.
He might be setting us up.
No. You better go do some scumbag things, Mike.
Man, okay.
Especially if you're going to play against Marshy.
Yeah, that was impressive. When you said
no options, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
And for the most part, he was right off the top of the noggin, too. Sometimes you're like...
I didn't think, for whatever reason, I drew a blank on the sea turtle one. Because I was thinking, like, the coast of Florida, like, that's rocky. Like, you're not going to get sea turtles out there, but the whole inner side of it.
There's a whole other side.
There's a whole other side, you fool. Dang it.
That's all right. Among the brain farts here, not even close to being in the picture of brain farts on this show.
Oh, man.
Namely being the one that Mike
How did he
threw
know
out there
the
first
Martin
time.
Luther one?
Right off the top of his head.
That one was pretty...
You knew that one?
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You're lying, too.
I'm not lying.
You're lying.
I thought that... I guarantee you there's a lot of people in the text line that probably knew that.
Yeah.
Well, they'll say they did. Just
Mike,
like you.
Mike was very impressive, man. He knew his stuff.
Yeah, good for him, man.
When he said "Here Without You," 3 Doors Down, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, the wrong year.
Yeah,
great song.
Great song, but it was like he's like 10 years off, 15 years off of that one. But otherwise, he nailed it.
Not 3 Doors Down. It's a different band that Carey called it the other day.
Oh, Carey probably said like Cher or something. Like, he's so far off.
It was like 3 something. He said it. We were asking who sings Kryptonite.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, I don't know.
I forgot what he said.
3 the hard way, he said.
3 the hard way. What the hell?
So, to take you behind the curtain real quick here, we play a game with Carey that he kind of invented, but whenever there's a song, because a bunch of songs always play in the hallways here for our sister stations, and anytime we start singing a song or he starts singing it, he'll guess what the song is. We like to call it name that white group, and Carey he gets the genres wrong, he gets the eras wrong, everything. So it winds up being kind of a fun game. But yeah, that was the other day. He said 3 the hard way when we try to give him a hint on 3 Doors Down.
I still think we have to do a YouTube video of us playing music for Carey and him guessing who sings it.
Oh, I think it's great.
I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, because we gotta find a way to bring it to the people here.
Yeah.
Have you seen the game show Beat Shazam?
No.
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
That's kind of like what
same idea
comes to mind.
Yeah, or name that tune from the original Beat Shazam.
That's right. Name that tune. All right. Is the ceiling for Broberg and Holloway even higher than we thought? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
just watching these two guys that you're talking about, Holloway and Broberg, in the early going, I really do think the ceiling should be higher for both of them. Like, Holloway's coming off that very serious injury with the torn oblique. He's been healthy for a number of months, and he looks like the best player on the ice. He just does. And, some of the plays he's made, you start to remember, gosh, Dylan Holloway did this last year. Can he even be better this year? And I think the answer is yes.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers in the penalty box. I'm Anthony Stalter.
Forgot about
it's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. That was Jeremy Rutherford who joined us earlier today, talking about the ceiling for Broberg and Holloway, and it being, I was asking whether or not, after what we saw them do last year, a full year with Jim Montgomery, full training camp and preseason with him, is the ceiling even higher for Broberg and Holloway than we even thought? Jamie, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so when Army signed or offer sheeted Broberg and Holloway, I think most people looked at it as, hey, these are nice depth pieces for your team. Not sure what they really are. Broberg coming off a good Stanley Cup final. Holloway playing a role on an Edmonton Oilers team that got the team to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. So I don't know what more you expected, apart from, Broberg coming into last year. I don't think anybody even saw him in the top 4. They're like, well, he'll be a great third pair. We'll kind of see what he's got there. And quickly we saw the potential of these two players. And I think the ultimate question is, when I ask, has the ceiling changed? I'm really asking, after one season of watching these guys and a nice little glimpse so far this season, like, what ultimately do you think they become? Because I don't see Dylan Holloway, like, he was projected by some NHL executives, even talking independently after the offer sheet signing, third line winger. I mean, maybe at best a second liner on a team that's not very deep. Mm-hmm. That's from, like, not just one guy, several. Philip Broberg, yeah, probably a full-time NHLer, but I don't know about a top 4. Don't know if he has those capabilities.
Yeah.
So now, knowing what we know, watching Holloway last year develop into what he ultimately became before his injury, watching the chemistry with Jordan Kyrou that he had, as well as Braden Shen, to that matter, and then watching Broberg, who came in and, like, instantly gave you more than what he gave the Oilers because he was allowed to play with more offense in his game, and watching the way he kind of finished the season, and now watching the start, like, what do we think these guys, what's the ceiling for these guys now? And based on what we know, how huge have these two signings become for the Blues?
I mean, they're massive. It reset the way we look at the current era of maybe not era, but the current window for the Blues. Does it not? They bring those guys in, and all of a sudden it's like they become the cheat sheet. They become I always use this reference, but like when we used to play Super Mario on the Nintendo, the original Super Mario.
Yeah.
And you get to the point where there's certain cheats at the end of the level,
you break the bricks and run along the top of the screen.
Yeah, or at one point you can flip the turtle and you just hit the shell over and over and over again. You get extra lives. That's Broberg and Holloway. Like, you went from, hey, we're in pretty good shape, to we're going to beat this damn game. They became the ultimate cheat code.
Go fast lane yourself, Goomba.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go fast lane yourself, Edmonton.
Yeah. I mean, these guys
Actually, thank you, Edmonton. That was...
Yeah.
We appreciate what you did.
And fast lane yourself, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Dylan Holloway, 14th overall pick, first rounder.
Thanks for developing him.
8th overall pick, first rounder. The Blues have picked up 2 first-round picks.
That are NHL ready.
That are now NHL ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that are getting better.
I don't think we could put into words what those two players have meant to the Blues. Broberg, though, does talk about improving himself offensively. So how does he improve offensively to become even more elite and balanced as a player?
Yeah, no, I think, I want to improve offensively for sure. And, I still want to be responsive defensively as well, and be a two-way guy. So I think I want to improve every day. So he's trying to take steps.
I mean, he says all the right things. And watching him play, I know it's preseason. I understand that. But Philip Broberg has added an offense-first mentality. Like last year when he came to the Blues, I remember talking to him before, and he's like, I was pretty offensive in minors and pretty offensive in other places. And I said to myself, well, that sounds very familiar. And so he's like, I want to come in and add some offense because I think I've got more to give. And he did. But now watching him, he's finishing. Like, can you imagine what this team looks like if Broberg can get 10 to 15 goals and get 45 to 50 points? We know that Parayko and Fowler are going to get there too, as far as the point totals go. We know that Justin Falk will be somewhere in the 30-point range. Logan Mailloux, to be determined, but based on what I've watched so far in preseason, he's probably going to get you 25 to 30 points, maybe more if situations, change for him. So I guess when we look back on this, in the history of the Blues organization, will we look back on this as maybe the best move in franchise history? Or is that a little much? Like, his Brett Hull trade is a lot.
Yeah, that's probably
so.
So
let's exclude some of that.
Okay.
How about the best move that Doug Armstrong has made overall?
If they win a Stanley Cup, multiple Stanley Cups, yes. As of right now, though, that Ryan O'Reilly trade looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but what if Dylan Holloway becomes much more than Ryan O'Reilly?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But does he have to win a cup, though?
If they have to win a cup?
I think he's got to win a cup.
Because what if Army can't put a team around Holloway that ultimately, because O'Reilly was the last piece of the puzzle. I believe it to be that way. And Dylan Holloway is one of the first pieces into this recipe.
I would, and maybe you would disagree with me, maybe you won't. I think this team is shaping up to be in the same ilk as that 2018-2019 team. It's just a little bit in the genesis of what that team was. Like you just said, that team was pretty much fully built. There's a lot of veteran players on that team, whereas this team, there's a lot of young players.
Yeah.
But I think they have more of an upside than some of those other players on that 2018-2019 team.
Yeah, I agree. I think that at the end of this season, the point totals for the players that are on this team will eclipse what the 2018-2019 point totals were for those guys. And it won't be like one or two guys. It's going to be like overall from the top 10 scorers on the Blues this year will probably have more points than what the top 10 scorers had in 2018-2019.
Eggplant emoji in the snake pit says, could the defense score combined 60 goals or more this season?
So let's think.
That's a lot of goals.
Parayko had what last year?
That's basically 10 apiece.
Well, Parayko had what, 17 last year, I think. Fowler's probably got 10 in him. I think Broberg's got 10, so we're at 37 right now. Falk has probably got 6 to 8.
Should we look at goals or should we look at points? Because these guys are really good at distributing the puck. You have some really good offensive players on your team.
Well, they keep the plays alive, too. Look at Logan Mailloux last night. Joined the rush, got a pass, and then a nice little backhand feed to Buchnevich, who put that in the back of the net. Philip Broberg joined the rush in the offensive zone, scores a nice goal. Then he jumps up in the play again, scores a nice goal. So you're right. Overall, maybe it's not total goals that we should be looking at. It's total offense.
Right. Parayko had 16 goals. Fowler had 9. Broberg had 8.
And he was hurt for,
Falk had 4.
Chunk.
Falk had 4. Tucker had 3.
Yeah.
And he didn't even really play all that much.
Yeah. Laddie had 2. But
So as far as the goals are concerned, what was the end? 60?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I would say no.
That's a lot. I think that you've definitely got between 30 and 40 goals, and there's still some wild cards in that. Like Logan Mailloux, what is he ultimately? We don't know. Maybe he's got 10 in him. Maybe he's got 2. Like, I don't know what that looks like. But I will say that this blue line, and I've said it before, this blue line right now, I know they don't have an Alex Pietrangelo. I know that. But if you take Alex Pietrangelo out of that 2018-2019 team, this defense core is better than what they had that year and they won the Stanley Cup. Now, if Colton Parayko can give you Alex Pietrangelo type offense, and he'll certainly give you the minutes played, then you're looking at a better decor, period.
There you go. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have Week 5 NFL storylines. What are the biggest storylines heading into Sunday's action in the NFL? We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis with great news from FanDuel. America's #1 sports book is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll be able to bet on all of your favorite teams and all of your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there are tons of ways to get in on the action. You can bet on everything from the money line to over-unders to which team will win it all. Plus, with live betting, you can even pick which player will score the next touchdown and the one after that. Jalen Hurts, an anytime touchdown sounds good to me. They're going to get down by that goal line. You know the tush push is coming. Maybe you want to go with Saquon Barkley for an anytime touchdown or over in reception yards. And hey, how about A.J. Brown? Didn't get a lot of yards last week. Probably going to be targeted heavy in this game. Maybe you want to go over in the number of targets. Those are a couple of picks that you can go with right there. If you like baseball, hey, Shohei, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Teoscar Hernandez, a lot of names. Maybe go over in that series with the Dodgers versus the Phillies. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 plus and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. We just got done talking about your St. Louis Blues. If you missed that conversation or if you missed our interview with Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Blues beat up on the Ottawa Senators last night. Final score 7-1. They'll take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Some preseason action for you right here on 101 ESPN tomorrow night. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. Last night, the 49ers defeated the Rams 26-23 in Thursday Night Football, an overtime battle out in L.A. That started Week 5 of the NFL slate. We're going to dive into some of the bigger storylines this upcoming week in the National Football League. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN at Week 5, biggest storylines in the National Football League. If you were to pick out one big storyline, Marsh, for Week 5, what is your biggest storyline?
Well, for me, it's what do the Ravens do? You know, Lamar Jackson banged up.
He's out, by the way, officially out.
What? So, Fire Up Chips is starting.
Yep.
The Ravens need a win. And quite frankly, so do the Texans. Both teams with one win right now. Who's going to win that game? I have no clue. I really don't. I have the Texans winning that game. But if the Ravens really want that opportunity to remain in the playoff picture, they got to win this week, man. Mm-hmm. They really do. So that's the biggest storyline for me.
I think they're going to overcome their injuries. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I don't think it's a situation where it's like, oh, this is how the Ravens are supposed to look. Now with Lamar Jackson on the sidelines. But I do think they're going to overcome their injuries. I think they're well coached. It's a situation like last night going into L.A., right, Jamie, where we all thought, wow, 49ers are dead in the water.
Yep.
And they had a slew of injuries on offense. Ravens dealing with a slew of injuries on defense, plus the QB being out. But it's a veteran-led team. Again, well coached. They know that they can't let another game slip away, despite having the injuries. And let's be real, Houston offensively is stunk.
That's the thing for me.
Last week doesn't count. They played Tennessee. They're barely a team. They're barely an NFL team.
They wouldn't be in the top 10 of college football.
They certainly wouldn't, even with Cam Ward.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, hey, Houston's fixed offensively. Defensively, Houston's been very good. But I think Baltimore overcomes their injury issues.
I'm with you there. Again, Houston's been putrid offensively. They don't scare me at all, regardless of what Baltimore has going on that defensive side of the ball. And I think that offensively, they'll be just fine. They'll plug away. I mean, they're not putting a rookie under center back there.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush has played in the NFL. He's played some good football in the NFL as well. And I think he's got enough around him, especially if he just turns and hands the ball off to Derrick Henry. That usually helps out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It does change the offense, like Carey had mentioned before. But Cooper Rush is a highly serviceable backup. It's fine. All right. Any other... What's your biggest storyline?
Biggest storyline? Oh, man. For me, the biggest storyline is what we saw last week out of the Chiefs. Is that real?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they back?
Yeah.
How about that? That's better than is that real? Because we know that when they play well, it's a really good football team.
Sure.
And when they get guys back, like they got Xavier Worthy back, he was a prominent piece of that game immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, it opened things up for Patrick Mahomes. It changed everything. So, imagine when they get Rashee Rice back, it's going to be able to move the ball around the field a little more. Mm-hmm. But to me, it's just like, are the Chiefs, are they back on the winning side of it? And the Jags, like,
are they real?
Yeah. Like,
are the Chiefs back and are the Jags real?
That's how I look at it. Like, because I don't know, because the Jags, they beat the Niners last week, but that was like, I don't know. The Jacksonville Jaguars, for me, this year, they're my smoke and mirrors team.
I don't blame you. That I can hop on board with. I wasn't on board with the Niners that year.
Did they win?
No, they didn't win at all.
They didn't win the Super Bowl.
No, they didn't.
They probably should have, but they didn't.
Jamie, that entire 2019 season, Niners are smoking mirrors. And he was proven right in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl.
Hey, good teams find ways to win. Bad teams, smoke and mirror teams, find ways to lose ball games in the most important moment of the season.
Very true. I think one of the other storylines is what Dylan Gabriel looks like in London. They're starting the rookie. The Browns are starting the rookie Dylan Gabriel in this international Week 5 matchup. This is a bounce-back spot for the Vikings. The injuries along the O-line have been problematic, but you've got a very smart and capable Kevin O'Connell that's going to figure it out eventually. And I do think that Brian Flores and that defense going to have a little something for Dylan Gabriel.
They're gonna horrify him.
They have got to stop the run. As Marsh has pointed out, the run defense has been putrid for the Vikings.
So the run defense is super bad when, not the movie, a great movie, super bad
Warlocks.
when the logo, Andrew Van Ginkel, is not playing.
You like the logo, huh? He's your guy, huh?
He's not playing.
He's your guy, huh?
He's my guy. I love that guy.
All right.
He's awesome. By the way, Joe Huber, ever heard of that guy? No, you probably haven't. He is an undrafted free agent, and he will...
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. He will be the starting left guard for the Vikings on Sunday.
Are you serious?
Your reward is Myles Garrett.
Wow.
That'd be fun.
Blake Brandel, he is the center. By the way, Juergens was the backup center. He is now out.
Juergens? That guy's soft.
Offensive line, that offensive line is going to have a problem trying to deal with Myles Garrett this weekend.
Yes.
They're fine. What's that Myles Garrett? Whatever.
Quick game.
Oh, really, Anthony? When was the last time we saw that?
You're going to see it this Sunday.
Well, we better.
It's going to be the old quick game. Quick slants, double slants, and then flip over to the other side.
To the right.
Yeah. Slant flat. Yep. Joe Huber, by the way, Wisconsin. He's a Wisconsin.
Bucky the Badger.
Grad. Yeah, so the offensive line health, that is a big issue. That's for sure.
Going back to Dylan Gabriel, though, I don't believe he needs to have like an out-of-this-world type game for that team to be in the game. Just rely on your defense and hand the ball off.
Can you do what Jackson Dart did last week against the Chargers? Really? Because Jackson Dart wasn't that great, but he ran around and made some plays. He picked up first downs when he needed to, and Cam Scatteraboo handled the rest. Junkins he's pretty good. He's been all, there's a reason why they took him as high as they did out of Ohio State. So, I mean, if they can run the ball, he should be fine. All right, last question here. Biggest question. Eagles. They really haven't played a full game yet. Because last week in Tampa, the second half was horrible. And we've seen them, like the first half against the Rams, won great. So they haven't really played a full game, but they're 4-0. Is this the week that bites them?
No.
Okay.
Not in Philly.
Not feeling the Broncos.
No.
All right.
I said this yesterday. Unless Sean Payton really dedicates to running the football, I just don't trust Bo Nix trying to just throw the ball all over the field against this Philly team. I really don't. Like, I just don't see it happening. Like, Sean Payton needs to commit to running the football.
You telling a Super Bowl winning coach what to do? How dare you?
I am. Am I bitter that I needed 3 more points from J.K. Dobbins last week in order to win my fantasy football game?
Yeah.
I did need 3 more points. I did. I wish he would have ran the ball more.
I appreciate, Marshall, your honesty.
He had 100 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Just give him the ball. I don't know. Maybe 4 more times.
It all comes back to Marshy's fantasy teams.
Really, if you start to listen to Marshy's takes throughout the week, it's either all about what his current fantasy team will look like or how bad it was the week before.
Or coaching on the video game system.
Well, I'm just Yeah, no, that's been a problem. That's been a real problem. I've taken a step back. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a breather, you know?
Yeah.
You can't be around people for, well, not that I'm around them, but...
Yeah, but it feels like it.
Can't be on the old headset with him too long.
No, you got to put your little microphone up.
It's the play, you know? Like, it's just, this guy, he's not doing his job, you know? How do you tell somebody you're not doing your job without being a Arizona Diamondback?
You just tell him, say you're not doing your job. Man.
Well, I have, actually.
You
a
want
few
to win or
times.
not?
Yeah.
Doesn't listen.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have his headphones in right.
Maybe it's Bruce Arians. It didn't plug it in.
It's not plugged in.
He thinks it is.
Maybe.
All right. Eli Drinkwitz has said that college football has kind of turned into a beauty pageant. We'll let you hear what he had to say and why. Next on 101 ESPN.
There's nothing more important than the look and feel of your home. So now's the time to make your home your retreat. Replace your tired
Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So Eli Drinkwitz discussed the current state of the college football playoff. And this audio, we'll let you hear it for yourself. But this is Eli Drinkwitz on Wake Up Barstool on FS1 about how college football has kind of turned into a beauty pageant.
Oh, boy.
College football has decided that instead of allowing, some sort of actual competition on the field to be involved, we decided, as Mike Leach completely and accurately described, we allowed a committee to decide. Yeah, a committee of people, which has always produced great results. We can now sense, throughout the government that committees are effective ways to make decisions. So we have beauty pageants instead of a football game. And, I talked about it at SEC Media Days. I still believe in this. We got to get back to figuring out who the best teams are on the field. I believe each conference should have play-in games and let those games decide who ultimately makes the playoffs. I think that's the best way to do it. I mean, I don't think anybody, the NFL is the most accurate model that we should all follow in professionalized sports. They play divisions. They play each other twice. That's the best team in that division. There's no doubt about it. And then, those teams makes the playoffs. You have 14 out of 32 teams make the playoffs. That's roughly 44%. We're talking about less than 10% in college football. We're asking fans for millions and billions of dollars to pay for players and stadiums. That's not sustainable if they don't see hope in their investment.
I mean, okay. A couple of takeaways for me on this one. One, calling it a beauty pageant, I don't know if I agree with it. Because if Mizzou was ranked in the top 10 right now, I don't know if Eli Drinkwitz would be saying that. I just don't. And then there's so many teams that are 4-0, 5-0, 4-1. Like, where do you draw the line? As far as a beauty pageant, and it is a flawed system. Don't mistake what I'm saying for this is a flawed system because they weight good wins over bad losses. However they weight all of that stuff, there's always margin for, we'll call it debate, okay? Where I think Eli runs off the rails here a little more than he realizes is that, does he think if you go to division winners to get in, does he think his chances just got better to win the SEC?
Depends on what your division is.
Well, his division right now is the SEC.
Well, I mean, right now,
right. Because otherwise it's just hypothetical.
Sure.
So then what?
Well, I wonder if he is thinking, "Hey, let's narrow down the divisions." Because really, all right, let's.
You would have to do away with conferences at that point.
Yes, you would have to do away with conferences, and then who knows what division you wind up in. I mean, the thing that Eli kind of overlooks, and I think he probably does it on purpose, is
for sure
you can wind up in a stacked division and never see the light of day, but. If you do have a schedule that's more balanced, which is kind of what he is suggesting, then your chances increase of making the playoffs. He's trying to get rid of some of the subjective takes of the committee, which I'm with them on that.
Fine with that.
Yeah, essentially what he's saying is give more teams a chance on the field instead of leaving so much to be subjective voting. I get that.
On paper.
Right.
But if you look at the top 30 teams, there's almost an argument for all 30. Because nobody's in the top 30 with 3 losses or I'm looking at the rankings right now. 4-0, 3-1, 5-0, 3-1, 3-1, 4-0, 4-1, 5-0.
Yeah.
So where does how does he want to start figuring that out? Now, his idea of divisions is probably the best way to eliminate this kind of a cluster of teams that are all in and around the same. But again, what is it if it just right now, tomorrow, they decided we're going to divisions, does he think his chances are greater in the SEC with Ole Miss, Texas, Georgia, Bama, LSU? Does he really think his chances are better?
With a play-in game.
Yeah.
Does that mean somebody's representing the SEC? Because we've seen over the years that it more than likely would not be Mizzou.
Okay. Let's also peel back the onion a little bit more here. What do you think he's actually suggesting? What he's actually suggesting is let's narrow down the pool of teams that could actually make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then divide those teams up in divisions.
Yeah, but
That, I think,
top
is
25,
is what he's saying.
Like, they're already narrowing it down, though.
But not if you're playing Clemson's schedule isn't Mizzou's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Tulane's schedule isn't Mizzou's schedule.
Okay, but then so how the hell do you do that?
Exactly.
So he's
It's
suggesting
nice in
something
theory.
that, like, it's easy to throw mud on the wall and just be
right.
like, here you go. Here's an idea.
Iceland mud, too.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's the best kind. But you've got how many college football teams?
124 or something.
Thank you. So what do we do now?
Right.
How do we create divisions?
Yeah.
We did conferences because we could pile way more teams into a conference and just call it the Big 10, the Big 12, the Pac-10, like whatever the hell you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're going to have subsidiary divisions within a conference, because that's really what the NHL and the NFL is.
Yeah.
Is you've got two major conferences, the AFC and the NFC, because Drink wants to highlight how good the NFL's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got the divisions within there. So but the SEC alone has enough teams to be a conference.
Jamie, your main point is it wouldn't work.
I don't think it would work.
Well, they already had, there are divisions, and maybe not so much anymore in some conferences, but those two division winners would play each other in the conference championship game.
And again, does Drink think his chances are better? Because even if the SEC had divisions, let's just say they have 3 divisions, 4 divisions, chop it up. You still got to go through Bama, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Ole Miss. Like, at this year, they're playing very well. I mean, Mizzou's playing very well. They're undefeated, heading into a massive game against Bama, not this week, but the following week. This is great, but, like, historically, Mizzou's chances of winning their division, if those were some of the teams, would not be favorable.
Right. No, I agree. It's not going to work. NFL plays a near identical schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tough.
They've got, the FBS, the schedule's very wildly.
I mean,
fewer common opponents. You got different strength of schedule. Mm-hmm. Purely record-based seeding is still a mess if you did it that way.
The NCAA is, I don't think it's next year, maybe it's the year after. They are going to a more conference-heavy schedule to where you'll play 9 conference games.
Yeah.
You'll have 3 teams that you play every year, and then there'll be a rotation of other teams that come through there. So it will be a more challenging schedule.
But even so, how are you supposed to compare one conference and the strength of that conference to a different conference? You can't.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to what I just said about the schedules, the being varied and the strength of schedule, all that. So this is why there's a committee, by the way. Like, we've proven.
What do you think Drink's trying to accomplish? Is he actually... Here's a thought in my head, and I don't know it to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's saying all these things to get noticed? And hear me out. Since he called it a beauty pageant and all this stuff, so do you think, because Drink is pretty strategic in the way he says things.
He's very smart.
He's a good salesperson when it comes to what he says. Is he trying to poke the committee? Well, maybe we should be looking more at this Mizzou team.
If he is, it's a great move.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
He's doing his job.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You know what else?
Hey, we're over here.
Yeah.
He's smart.
Winning football games.
And he's doing that too.
Well, if they beat Bama, they'll be in a really good position. But
Yes.
then if they get waxed, all of a sudden maybe you don't want to call attention to your team.
Oh, beauty pageant, huh? I got your beauty pageant. All right, could this be Jordan Binnington's best year since 2019? I don't know if you guys remember that year, but...
Pretty good year, some would say.
Yeah. All right, we'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Senators to the near side. Shoot it right on through the deflection. Save made by Binnington. Then Tapalo deflects it on. Another save by Binnington. And I'm telling you, this guy came into camp like it was game 42.
You know, I guess I've been around 3 camps, and I think this is the best I've seen him looking at camp.
That was high praise by Jim Montgomery. He's talking about Jordan Binnington, and you heard Chris Kerber on the Call, Blues Radio Network, talk about how Binnington already looks like he's in game 42. We posed the question, could this be Jordan Binnington's best year since 2019? I guess my response to that would be, why not, Jamie? Why couldn't it be? He's had other great years, namely the COVID year, and unfortunately it ended because of the stop, and that was rough. But he was rolling that season, and so were the Blues. Well, why couldn't he have a season that replicated 2019?
Well, I think he can, and I think the biggest indicator of that is a couple things. One, how well he's coming into camp, in good shape, healthy, playing very well, and also the way this team plays defense now. I talked earlier, I made a bold statement about I think this defensive core is even better than what they had in 2019. If that's the case, then that means you're going to have less high-danger opportunities for Jordan Binnington, who over the course of his career, not only does he make those bell ringer saves where that's a for sure goal. Oh, well, no, it isn't because Binnington's there.
Yeah.
But the shots he should save, he does. So if you're not giving up high-danger opportunities, the other team's chances of scoring, they lower tremendously. And so I think, Marshall, we didn't get the sheet here. I forget the numbers for 7 preseason games.
Yeah, this is great. In 7 preseason games, 7 periods. 7 periods,
that's it.
Spanning 3 games, Jordan Binnington has a .86 goals against average and a .973 save percentage.
Dang,
it's pretty good.
That's 7 periods of play in preseason. You're not getting everybody's aces.
Sure.
But it just shows you that he's dialed in. And here's not a theory. I think it's a fact for me anyways, is I think Jordan Binnington, the Olympics, the 4 nations, let's go back to that. I think the 4 nations really helped Jordan Binnington. A couple things. One, it put him on the map internationally. People who didn't know who he was, even Canadian people who, Binnington guy, I don't know, everybody's pissing and moaning leading up to that tournament about, Canada's goaltending.
Oh, totally. They wanted him out.
They wanted him out, even after the
I
first.
got in Twitter fights with people because of this, man.
Yeah, you did, Marshy.
Good for you.
Hell yeah.
Those would make a lot of sense. Good for you. But that experience for him, and then kind of being put on a pedestal after that in as far as Hockey Canada is concerned, then it led to this summer. And so the Olympic, they had the orientation, they called it, whatever, that happened in August, I think August 16th through 18th. But that was huge. That means you have to be prepared then. So he was way ahead of his schedule as far as mental preparation is concerned. I don't know how much on-ice stuff they did while they were there. I'm not going to pretend to know because he didn't invite me, at least not this year.
It's unfair.
It's brutal, actually, politics. But Binnington goes through that whole process, and now he carries that mentality back with him, like best in the world mentality, like Team Canada. We're going to be the best in the world. I'm going to be on the team. I'm going to be the goalie for the best team in the world. I have to show up in St. Louis and be the best damn goalie in the world. And I know that's crazy connecting the dots, but that's how athletes think. That's how specifically special athletes think. We've all seen The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan making up things so they're slight, so he plays better. Like whatever your highway of motivation is, the star athletes find it. That's what makes them special. And so watching him so far this season, albeit early, he looks dialed in, man. He looks so dialed in. It's really pretty impressive.
Here is Jordan Binnington focusing on his process. Talk about dialed in. Here's Binnington talking about his process.
Yeah, I feel good right now. And, it is just preseason and there's a long way to go. But I'm just trying to focus on my process, and that's where my head's at.
So I'll say this about Jordan Binnington is, I covered the team pre and post in 2018, 2019, was able to be a part of a lot of the post Stanley Cup Championship festivities and events and gatherings and things like that. But you really don't know somebody at that point. And Jordan Binnington was still kind of unknown from outside of what you saw on the ice. What is Jordan Binnington? The last couple of seasons, I've had a chance traveling with the team to talk with Jordan Binnington. One time we're walking just down through Denver. You just decided to go. I was going to go grab a coffee. He's like, well, let's go grab a coffee.
Hand in hand, interlocking?
No, I didn't push it that day. As we got back, I suggestively put my arm around him a little bit. He didn't pull away. However, he did give me a side eye, so I backed away.
Sure.
Either way, it was a moment.
Respectful.
It's a moment I won't forget. Mm-hmm. But we were walking and talking just about things and his preparation and what he does and how he views things. And man, he is a thinker. He's so much more than just a reflex goalie. There is a whole process to Jordan Binnington. He likes the cold tubs and the really extreme cold water therapy, and he's got all these things that he follows on certain people on YouTube, and he's very aware of what he likes to do in order to be prepared for games, and he takes his preparation uber seriously.
He's Aaron Rodgers, but not an Arizona Diamondback.
Yeah, but he's not into the ayahuasca and all that stuff. It's way more stuff that heightens his senses kind of thing. And and every time I talk to him, it's very cool conversations with an elite athlete that is not just relying upon his physical abilities, but also the mental
side of it.
And we've talked about goaltenders. We got a question, I believe it was last week, about goaltenders being quote unquote weird. And that's been the kind of the narrative surrounding hockey goaltenders for as long as I've been alive. But I wonder if that sort of plays into what you're talking about. That's not weird by any means, but it's a different type of process that a goaltender has to go through that's completely different than one of the other 5 players out on the ice.
Yeah, and again, the thing I'll compare it to is being a starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. I think that you have to be wired a little differently. I think that for pitchers, they have to find a very cerebral area. You cannot be all jacked up for a strikeout and then want to dig a hole 6 feet under when you walk a guy. Everything has a process, and you have to trust the process. How many times do we hear that crap?
Yeah.
All that was trust the process, whatever. Now I'm seeing it in real time with not just Jordan Binnington. Dylan Holloway is another example of that. He trusts the process. His process is, off-ice shooting, off-ice working out, on ice early, doing video room, talking to the best players have a process that works for them, and what it does is it elevates their game to a level that some of the other players can't get to, or they're unwilling to create their own process.
Do players get addicted to that type of stuff where it's almost one of those things where I have to do this because it's like going to the gym, right? You go for so long, you get addicted to it. You end up having to go. It's well, I have this thing going on, but man, I haven't gone to the gym yet. I gotta go. I wonder if it's something similar, and that ultimately separates the good players from the great players, because those people that maybe are in the league, not even the NHL, but it could be whatever sport it is, they're not addicted to their craft.
Yeah, and I think that it's ever changing for these guys, because a guy like Sidney Crosby, he's regimented. I don't know if it's the process. He's super superstitious and very regimented, and he hasn't changed a lot over the course of his career. But that works for him. He's one of the greatest players of all time for a reason, and that's part of it. I think with certain players, too, it can be ever-changing. So like Jordan Binnington, when he was here in 2018, 2019, his process wasn't the same as it is now. And I think that as you age, year after year, you're looking for different processes to try and maximize your ability as an individual and as the athlete. And, David Alexander, goalie coach for the Blues, he's been tremendous for Jordan Binnington. Davey Alexander, he's a psychopath. He is. And I love talking to him. He's such an interesting dude. but him and Jordan Binnington together are almost like this perfect animal of being able to continuously evolve as a player.
They go together like lamb and tuna fish.
Like lamb and tuna fish.
Yes. Don't forget the jelly.
What?
Jamie's got to get out of here. NFL Week 5 entrance survey,
Should get out with that comment.
Yeah, which team is most at the crossroads heading into Week 5? Thus needs a win. We'll tell you which team, and we will dive into some of the other big NFL matchups this weekend. That's next on 101 ESPN. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis is off today for the Illini and Purdue travels that he's going to be doing for the Illini broadcast tomorrow. Jamie just had to head out. He's got a couple of kids doing some activities tonight for local high school. So, Marsh, let's bring it on down.
Yes.
Let's bring it on home. NFL Week 5 entrance survey. Which team is most at a crossroads heading into Week 5 and thus needs a win?
Most at a crossroads. We talked about this earlier, but for me, it is the Baltimore Ravens. They have to win this week, in my opinion, or at least see something from Cooper Rush that gives Baltimore fans a little bit of confidence that this guy can, take care of business while Lamar Jackson is not playing. And we've seen it happen before in Dallas. He did a pretty good job with the Dallas Cowboys a few years ago when Dak went down. So it is possible that he could step in and just not do too much, but make the passes that he needs to make and hand the football off to Derrick Henry. But they got a lot of question marks on defense, and they're playing a team that finally figured out how to win a football game in the Houston Texans. So for me, that's the team at a crossroads right now, especially with some other teams in the AFC that are finding ways to win, such as the Pittsburgh Steelers within their own division. I don't know if Pittsburgh, for me, is a 3-1 football team, but their record is 3-1, and that's a team that I really didn't believe would be in the playoff mix at the end of the season, but they're finding themselves right back there.
And they benefit from no Joe Burrow. Yeah. Lamar's out now for who knows how long. Hopefully it's just a week, but could be out for multiple weeks. No, you're right. And I agree with you. I think the team that's most at a crossroads right now, injuries or not, are the Ravens. The Ravens being 1-3, facing a 1-3 Texans. Hell, you could actually say that both of those teams. Like the Texans fit that category last week, certainly, when they played the Titans. Mm-hmm. But you can make the case for Houston, too. Let's flip it on its head, shall we? If you just say Houston is the team at a crossroads right now, Jacksonville's playing great, and so is Indy in their division. Yep. And everybody just penned Houston in as the winner in the AFC South.
Not I.
Not you, though. You're on that Colts band. No, you're on the Jaguars. Yeah. Texans being 1-3 right now. If we flip it around and say you're playing a Lamar Jackson-less Ravens team, that is also down potentially six defensive starters. Mm-hmm. If you're not going to win in Baltimore Sunday, when are you going to win in Baltimore?
And they're the favorite in this game, -1.5.
They are,
on the road. So, what would that be at home?
Right, probably 4.5, 5.5. Yeah.
So you need to win this game.
Yeah.
If you're Houston, but at the same time, you need to win this game if you're Baltimore. You can't be 1-4 and expect to win the Super Bowl
without knowing when Lamar's going to come back.
Exactly.
I completely agree. All right, which matchup more than any other fascinates you heading into Week 5?
Oh, for me, it's the Seahawks and Buccaneers.
I chose that one too.
Did you?
Yeah, because I think Seattle. If you remember, Seattle is my last wild card team. That's the one I put the Seahawks in last. And I think a lot of people are like, well, Seattle's not that good. I think Seattle's one of those teams that is fundamentally sound, doesn't have a ton of weakness, but also doesn't have a high ceiling. I don't think the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to get into the NFC Championship game. I don't think their ceiling's high. But I think they're a very sound football team that plays complementary football. So special teams, defense, offense, they all complement each other, and they're well coached. Defensively, thanks to McDonald, they're going to have a game plan.
Yeah.
On the other side of this, I think the Buccaneers are a better team now than they were a year ago.
Yeah.
I think they're a better team. I think Baker Mayfield has reached even another level.
He feels at this point in his career, this is the most comfortable he has been. Because in other spots, it's like, all right, do I really have the pieces around me? Am I put in the right situation to succeed, which he wasn't? But here, he has a few years under his belt with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the most comfortable and most confident I've seen Baker Mayfield play probably in a few years, to be honest.
He has been a leader since he got to Tampa Bay, but he had a lot to prove it the first year because he signed the deal when they're like, okay, are you? This was before he confirmed that, he's not just a reclamation project. He's a franchise quarterback. But this year, I think he's taken flight. No Mike Evans a week ago, and they almost knocked off the defending Super Bowl champions. This week, they won't have Mike Evans. They won't have Bucky Irving. It's going to be very interesting. They're going to face a stiff test defensively in Seattle, and I really can't wait. That's a 3:05 game.
Yeah,
I can't wait to tune in.
So there's another game that is in that 3:00 slate, 3:25 start. It's the Commanders and the Chargers. That one also intrigues me because you have Jaden Daniels coming back, a 2-2 Commanders team that went to the NFC Championship last year. They're on the road taking on a Chargers team that should have beaten the Giants on paper. They didn't. I'm sure they're hungry to get back in the win column. Chargers are 3.5-point favorite. That one intrigues me because I really don't know who is going to win that game. I have the Chargers winning, but Jaden Daniels comes back. We know how dynamic of a quarterback he is, but he could still not be 100% healthy. I'm interested to watch that game unfold.
That one... Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what to make of it. Who did you take in the Pick'em challenge?
I took the Chargers just because they're at home, and I just can't see that team losing 2 games in a row.
I took the Chargers in a bounce back spot too. Even though Jaden Daniels is back for Washington, they got serious issues defensively. And look, I know I crap on the Falcons I think it's a defense mechanism, Marsh. If I could be honest with you for a second, I think it's a defense mechanism. I don't want to be hurt anymore. You know what I mean?
I kind of do that too with my team.
Yeah, so I crap on the Falcons. But let's be real for a second here. If you go back to that Carolina game, the Falcons had 0 passing game. I called it a high school offense.
Yeah.
And that's not fair to high school offenses because they can be damn creative. That offense that showed up in Carolina was putrid. The one that we saw last Sunday against Washington went up and down the field all game.
Yeah.
So Washington has some serious defensive problems. It's one of the reasons why I did not have them in the playoffs this year because I didn't think they made any significant changes in the offseason. I think Washington's one of the teams like, we'll just do what we did a year ago. And teams have kind of caught up to playing Jaden Daniels. Now he's a little banged up. So I think that Chargers team can get back on track. I think it's a classic bounce back spot. So I'm on the Chargers as well. And finally, which quarterback is most under the microscope this week? I mean, you could say Cooper Rush, but I think that's going to be don't lose the game for us, Cooper.
Man, I think this is a tough question. I really don't know. Maybe you could make the argument that Jake Browning is under the microscope because that offense is terrible, and we're starting to see the wide receivers sort of come unglued. And that's something that you don't want to have happen with your star players. Like Jamar Chase is getting in the face of Zach Taylor. Like that could blow up. Even if Joe Burrow does come back, is it going to be enough for them to get to the playoffs? They need to start winning some games and being competitive. And it doesn't help that they're playing the Lions this week by any means. But they need to show that this offense can actually do something other than going 3 and out and punting every time. But other than that, I mean, what about Jalen Hurts? I know we brought up the Eagles earlier, a team that is 4-0. They are finding ways to win, but it doesn't seem like the passing game outside of the game against the Rams, which kind of found its footing in the second half. The passing game really hasn't been tremendous.
No.
Is that someone that maybe you could look at?
So I'll answer that question and then transition into why I'm saying no. So for me, no, because I think Jalen Hurts, we know exactly what he is in that offense. Whether the Eagles lose or beat Denver doesn't change that. Again, we know what he is. The bigger question, of course, is what's going on? Like how do they keep A.J. Brown happy? That's the big question right now in Philly. So I don't think, for me at least, Jalen Hurts in that matchup against a very good Denver defense tells us much because we already know what he is. Here's the player I don't know about that I think we'll find out a hell of a lot more come Monday night. It's Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call.
Trevor Lawrence in that offense under Liam Cohen. He finally has somebody. I mean, Doug Peterson did a decent job with him, but Liam Cohen maybe has unlocked Jacksonville's offense. But Jacksonville, and we've had this discussion with Carey. Carey's all in now. But again, they play Carolina, Cincinnati, Houston, and San Francisco. San Francisco's been banged up. Houston defensively very good, but they only scored 17 points in that game. That one could have went either way. Cincinnati's an awful defense, and Carolina has an awful defense unless they're playing the Falcons. So what is Trevor Lawrence, Monday night game, at home against a team that has appeared in the Super Bowl 682 times the last 682 years?
That also just somewhat found its footing last week.
Yes.
That's a good call. Yeah, that is probably that's the answer.
To me, if we're talking about quarterbacks under the microscope, what are you? Are you for real? Are you ready to take the next step? If he craps himself on Monday night, now I'm back to the let's take off the master, Trevor Lawrence, and you're basically who we have thought you are to this point.
I didn't even think about them, probably because I almost don't care.
Oh, really?
Like, I don't.
That's your AFC South team.
I know.
I'm shocked that you're saying that.
That was a couple weeks ago. This is.
Don't you want to be right?
Well, yeah, no. I mean, that'd be great to be right. I'm not one of those people though that I have to be. That I don't need to be right on everything.
Yeah.
It helps though if you're right. It makes you feel a little bit better and whatnot. But I don't need to be. I just don't care about him. I really don't. I didn't even think about him. Because I feel like we already know who he is. Could Liam Cohen produce an uptick in this Jags offense? Yes. I thought so much that it'd be good enough to win the South. I don't think that says a lot about Jacksonville. I think that says more about what the AFC South is as a division.
Okay.
But it appears that the South has some teams in there that have played well enough to be 3-1. And Houston's not one of those teams, but the Colts as well. So I don't know. I just don't really care about Jacksonville.
All right, fair. Yeah.
But
you're being honest right now. I asked for your honest opinion. You give it to me.
In all honesty, I think they're going to get their you-know-what kicked on Monday night.
Against Kansas City?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I think it'll be a competitive game because Kansas City, they seemingly play only competitive games.
Real quick here. Thoughts on Drake May taking on the Bills on the road? He's another young quarterback that I don't necessarily know if we know what he is.
I think that's fair. Drake May, let me look this up real quick because I remember they were I think they were in Buffalo a year ago and they gave the Bills a game.
7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, almost 1,000 yards. He's about 12 yards away from reaching 1,000.
Okay, so so here, the final week, Buffalo was probably resting starters, so let's throw that game out. In Buffalo,
I think Joe Milton played that game, did he not?
I think he did. So in Buffalo, the Bills knocked off the Patriots 24-21. Now this was a 3-12 Patriots team at the time. Drake May was 22 of 36, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He threw for 7.3 yards per attempt. He also had 6 rushes for 30 yards. He had a pretty good game. So I don't know if it tells us anything, but I could see that game being a lot closer than people think.
Buffalo minus 7.5.
I would still lay the 7.5, but
total 49.5. I think there could be a lot of offense in this game.
There you go. All right. That was a look at the week 5 here, the entrance survey here on 101 ESPN. We'll have a quick bet the board next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues, after defeating the Ottawa Senators last night by a final score of 7-1, will be back in action tomorrow night, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Blues and Blackhawks pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. Before that game, we'll have Michigan and Wisconsin. Some college football for you. Pregame starts at 10:30 a.m. Kickoff is at 11. And tonight, you can listen to BYU take on West Virginia with the pregame starting at 9. Kickoff is at 9:30. If you have missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews, including the one today with our guy, Jeremy Rutherford from The Athletic. And you can find all of our shows as well. It's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have Bet the Board coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Time to play Bet the Board here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. I know Carey got his play last night. Kyron Williams over 5 receiving yards in the first half. He caught a 14-yard touchdown pass in the first half, so he cashed his. Christian McCaffrey also scored a touchdown, so I hit mine. How did you and Jamie wind up?
Jamie also picked up a point because the Blues Senators game.
Oh, that's right. He hit the over.
Over 5.5. We know that definitely hit with 8 goals in total. I did not, though, get my punts, Anthony. Not a lot of punts last night in Thursday Night Football.
I actually liked that play. I thought it was going to be a little lower scoring, and then San Francisco kind of picked up the pace there, or set the pace early on by jumping out to the 14-0 lead. So Jamie has how many points?
Jamie has 2.
And CD has 2?
CD has 2.
You and I with 1?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Now, Jamie did tell us his play, which was David Montgomery over 50 or more rushing yards. David Montgomery, 50 or more rushing yards. That's what Jamie chose. CD also sent in his play. Let me take a look at that. He has Saquon Barkley, 15 or more receiving yards. I think we need to verify these, Marsh. We know how these...
All right, let me take a look here.
These guys do. Hold on. I'm looking at the receiving props right now. Yep, 15 or more. Saquon Barkley, 15 or more receiving yards. He's good. I don't know if we want to verify Jamie's as well. Might as well, especially with Jamie.
Might as well do it, yes.
You know how he is. But I did see earlier, he did show me. So let's see. David Montgomery, it's actually... Yeah, he's still good. 50 or more. It's minus 124.
What are you going with?
I'm going to go with Vanderbilt plus 11.5 against Alabama. I think that's a lot of points to give Diego Pavia and company. I know it's a revenge spot, but Alabama's coming off the win against Georgia. And quite frankly, Alabama can play up and down to opponents, as we've seen. And they never look quite as good when they're not playing Georgia.
I'm going to go with Quinshon Judkins.
Sorry, I was trying to hold off a sneeze there.
Oh, you're good. Bless you.
Thank you.
Quinshon Judkins, the Browns take on my Minnesota Vikings. We saw last week that they had a tough time stopping the run. Kenneth Gainwell gained a lot of yards, had 2 touchdowns. Give me Quinshon Judkins over 75.5 yards rushing at minus 110.
Wow, you're all against them Vikings this weekend.
Hey,
I think it's a bounce back spot for them.
I didn't say that they would lose, although I didn't pick them in the Pick'em Challenge, but that has to do with me going the Anthony Stalter route, fading my team. It typically works out. We'll see if it works out this weekend.
There you go. Gator says, I like that one, Anthony. Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know why Vanderbilt is that big of an underdog, and maybe that's a red flag, and I should just stay away from it. But I think Vanderbilt, with Diego Pavia, has been competitive in damn near every game. I remember when Vanderbilt came to Columbia earlier in the season last year, forced overtime with Mizzou, and had every opportunity to win that game outright. And then, of course, they had the bigger wins along the way, including beating Alabama. But that Vanderbilt offense is tough to prepare for, and when he gets running around, I think he reminds me of Baker Mayfield. Diego Pavia reminds me of Baker in that he keeps his teams in games, does whatever he needs to do, whether he's going to beat a team with his arm or his leg, he'll do it. Gator also says no one taking the Gators. You know, that line is interesting. It dropped. Texas was -7, and it dropped to -4.5. That's a big line swing for a matchup that features, obviously, a team in Texas that has national championship aspirations against a Florida team, and Gator knows this, so I'm not gonna kill him with this, but a Florida team that has been wildly disappointing. So interesting, really interesting line movement there. All right, that'll do it for us here in the fast lane, or at least we got one more segment. We'll cover some 3 stars. We'll do what we learned, and maybe hand out some criticisms and compliments. Don't forget, just a programming note, we will carry the Blues-Blackhawks game tomorrow. Pregame starting at 5. Puck drops at 6 o'clock. We also have some college football. Tonight we got BYU in West Virginia with the pregame at 9 and the kickoff at 9:30. And Michigan-Wisconsin pregame 10:30 tomorrow, kickoff at 11 a.m. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show next on 101 ESPN. Mosby Building Arts is fantastic. They also have a great deal going on through October 31st, so through the end of the month, through Halloween, where you can get a brand new remodeled bathroom for just $279 a month. If you're not in the market for a new bathroom, but you, want to redo the basement, maybe add a home theater, maybe a game room, provide an office for yourself in the basement, or just flat out take advantage of the square footage that you have, $599 a month. Basements start off at with Mosby Building Arts under this sale. Whether you choose to do new front doors, which is, by the way, $69 a month, through October 34th, through October 31st, or gutters, which only start at $59 a month. Go with Mosby. Mosby Building Arts does fantastic work. We love having them in our house to add new doors to our patio, or the spot where we're going out to the patio. They did such a great job. They took care of our home like it was their own. I love the fact too that they have everybody in house. It's not one of these companies that's like, yeah, you know what, we'll take on the project, and then we've got all these subcontractors. Not at Mosby. Their electricians are in-house. Their architects are in-house. Their plumbing's in-house. Their, anybody that does the flooring, everything is in-house. So they really do a great job of making sure that your project stays on time, so that you're not without a bathroom or a kitchen for months on end, and they're constantly communicating with you. So if you want to do it the right way, call Mosby Building Arts. Tell them Stalter sent you. Visit callmosby.com today. You could set up a free consultation too. And take advantage of these offers that are going on right now. Again, only $279 a month for a new bathroom. Go with Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. miss anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or via the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Podcast, as always, brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Well, only two of us to give what we learned today. March, what did you learn?
I learned that some shows feel longer than other ones and some feel shorter than other ones, despite us being on air for roughly 4 hours.
Yeah. I mean, it's always the same time.
Yeah.
If you're here for an entire show, which is normally the case for you and I, it's basically the same time. But, yeah, some shows feel longer. Did this one move at a pretty good clip for you?
This one moved really fast.
Okay.
And that's good on a Friday.
Absolutely, yeah. What I learned is even though people kind of know that I'm a driver of the show and I set up topics and I tease the next topic, I learned that some people still feel as though that they're my questions, the questions that I have when I'm teasing the segment. For example, one of the Snake Pit members said, Anthony Binner is not going to have a career year. Sit down, son. To which I replied, just an FYI, I set up the topics. Just because I tease something doesn't mean it's my question. But some people don't know that. Now this gentleman did, and he did come back and say, "LL, sorry, my bad."
So there you go.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, just because I tease something doesn't mean it's the question I had in my head. All right, let's get to the 3 stars of the day.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 stars of the day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
I'm going to give the 3rd star of the day to the Rams fans for being able to make noise while sitting down and not opening their mouths. So that's pretty impressive.
Wow.
Pretty impressive out of those LA Ram fans.
No kidding.
2nd star of the day goes out to Fingerlings, the Christmas toy that I've never heard of.
Yeah, never heard of it.
And our 1st star of the day goes out to the band 3 Doors Down, also known as 3 the Hard Way.
Yes, according to Carey. Absolutely. Yeah, good stuff there. Hey, everybody have a great weekend. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for making our show something that we absolutely enjoy every single day, whether we're in good moods, bad moods, got stuff going on in our lives. You guys make us laugh, and we enjoy sharing the experience with you. So shout out to the Snake Pit and everybody listening throughout the course of the week this week. Everybody have a great weekend. Have fun. Be careful out there. See you.